Welcome to high school football on AT&T Broadband. Tonight, we're at Knowles Field in Martinez as the battle for supremacy in the Diablo Foothill Athletic League matches the Miramonte Matadors and the Alhambra Bulldogs. Dan Wall alongside Steve Sanchez, as always, with Ron Carter and Matt Bollner in the truck. And Steve, I think Alhambra coach Dave Silvera summed up tonight's game best in the Contra Costa Times today when he said, we know what they're going to do, and they know what we're going to do.
Well, Dan, if they both know what they're going to do, what in the name of Holy Toledo, Bill King, are we doing here?
As always, that's why we pay you the big bucks, Tana, okay? A great man, Chris Berman, once said, that's why we play the games. Miramonte has won 16 straight league games, their last league loss coming at the hands of Alhambra right here in 1999, 25-21. We'll be back to set the story for tonight's game in 2 minutes on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay, and most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back at Knowles Field in Martinez as we get ready for tonight's game between unbeaten Miramonte and the 4-1 Bulldogs from Alhambra. And Steve, let's explain what we were talking about in the open, and that's why these two teams are basically mirror images of each other.
Dan, you're right, and it all starts at the top with their coaches. Coach Severa and Miramonte coach Floyd Bernstead both have been with their schools for 20 years. They started in 1982 and have they played some of the most important league games over through history in their time. And here we go again, Dan, with first place on the line again. Deja vu all over again.
Right. The winner of tonight's game would more than likely be tied with Los Lomas for first place, so we'll have here next week not only the coaches, Steve, but the teams and personnel as well. And we'll be back to talk about the teams and the participants in tonight's game after the national anthem.
Thank you. Now please remain standing for the playing of our national anthem.
The national anthem at Knowles Field in Martinez tonight, getting ready for the Miramonte Alhambra game that will decide first place in the Diablo Football Athletic League. And Steve, both these teams are led by big-time quarterbacks. They both have star running backs, and they're both young and active on defense.
They are, Dan, and they both run a pro offense. Miramonte with Mr. All-World Mark Gillen, and Alhambra with Zach Hall. Both have great runners. Eric Curry representing Miramonte, and Sean Burke is a top Bulldog. Alhambra might have a bit of edge defensively, but Miramonte is one of the most explosive offense in the area. They have a mammoth front line, Dan, and they run the ball and they throw the ball. They do all kinds of good stuff.
Yeah, this should be a real good game. Two of the most successful programs in this area. The first time we've ever had the privilege of bringing you this game. And contrary to popular belief, Steve, there's a lot of people who think that we pulled out of the Pittsburgh De La Salle game for some there's some kind of chicanery or something going on there. We simply thought that this was a more important game to do because of the league ramifications. Had nothing to do with De La Salle winning last week or Pittsburgh's chances or anything like that. That really isn't even a league game. It's actually an exhibition game, and this is an important league game, and that's why we're here.
You're absolutely right, Dan. There's more. There's no game of more importance in Contra Costa County than this one tonight.
That's very true. So Miramonte won the toss, and they will receive. You know what, though, Steve? We didn't have the ref tonight, so there's a possibility maybe that Alhambra deferred because everyone defers.
They did defer.
Oh, they did? Okay,
yes,
so
they did.
Alhambra won the toss, and they deferred, and Miramonte's going to get the ball.
And they kept our streak going. Every game we do, they defer. They say wall of chances up there, we don't want it.
So Miramonte will move from our left to right here in the first quarter. Mickey Perry will kick. Eric Carey in number 22. Cameron Lacey back deep for the Matadors, and we're underway here tonight. A beautiful night in Martinez. And Perry, a very good kicker. Good foot on that one. That's Carey at the 1 yard line. Carey, a transfer from Deer Valley, one of the leading rushers in the area. Up the middle. Good yardage on the return. And Curry is tackled at the 36-yard line. Let's take a look at the Miramonte offense, Steve. Of course, Mark Gillen already committed to Miami next year, where he will succeed Ken Dorsey, another former Matador at quarterback. Eric Carey and Tim Grebe are the running backs. Brendan Wright, one of the top receivers in the area. Justin Halsepian and Mark Bennett is the tight end in the receiving corps. Evans, Weeks, Bradstad, Smith, and Hornberger are the offensive line for the Miramonte Matadors. They start at the 35-yard line, first down. And Alhambra has one of the better, more active defenses in this area.
They really do, Dan. They play good. They wrap you up real good. They don't have to gang tackle. They tackle good, and I'll let you take this, Dan.
On first down, and a reverse, and a penalty flag. And right off the bat, that penalty flag, that looked like that Cleveland Browns play not too long ago. That was Brendan Wright on the reverse, but a penalty, and this one's probably going to come back.
It is, Dan, and by all rights, he had the right to put that out of his face mask and throw it right back at him.
Defensive starters for Alhambra tonight: Nate Camberg, Chris Palm, after the call.
72.
Oh, they're giving the numbers, Dan, tonight.
They gave the number on that
Go
one.
ahead, Dan.
Now let's do the defensive starters for Alhambra. Nate Camberg, Chris Palma, Ryan Damron, and John Downey across the line. Parada, Davidson, and Costanza make up the linebacking core for Alhambra. And in the defensive backfield, very quick and very active, Ryan Aldridge, Dan Giffen, Mickey Lane, and Ray Faulkner. Alfredo Martinez, who played so well in that Concord game we brought you a few weeks ago, is injured. And here's a replay of that first play, Steve.
Here it is. It's a reverse, and he comes to the outside. He picks up a few runs. And watch his face mask. Oh, hey, what's up with that? Right in the face, but nice hit by Aldridge. It pulls him out of bounds. There's a flag. It's all for naught. It's still hanging in his mask. You got to love it.
That was a pretty good one. So
that means we're going to have a good night, Dan. All kinds of weird things are going to happen.
Penalty on first down that backs up Miramonte, the Matadors, back 7 yards. It's 1st and 17 here on the first drive. Gillen, the quarterback. We'll talk about their quarterback history here in a minute. And Gillen throws a screen, and it's caught by Carey over the middle. And Carey gets back to the original line of scrimmage from this drive on the inside screen pass. In on that play, number 42, Matt Fielder, and number 55, Jared Costanza. But Steve, Miramonte in the last 5 to 6 years have produced quarterbacks that have went on to play at college. Adam Smith, currently a backup at Duke. Ken Dorsey, of course, maybe the Heisman Trophy winner this year out of Miami. And Adam Bennett, who went to UCLA and now is a wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans.
Well, Burns said that's what he does. He likes airing it out, and they produce quarterbacks over in Orinda.
Amongst other things.
Yes, but they mostly quarterbacks, Dan.
2nd and 9. And they run this is Carey. And Carey picks his way through for about 4. Lane was there. And Costanza, as well as number 74, Damron. So right off the bat, Steve, on this first drive, a big third down play. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Look for him to air it out. I don't know about Alhambra's defense, Dan. I don't know if Davidson was able to go 53. He was questionable. I don't know if he's out there. I haven't seen him yet. I know he was scheduled to go, but I haven't seen him, so I don't know if he started or not.
I think Fielder's out there. The tight end is starting in the place of Davidson tonight. So good call, Steve. 3rd and 5. Backs in an eye behind Gillen. 2 wide receivers far side. And that's right in motion. Gillen to throw. And he throws over the middle to the tight end, Bennett. And Bennett has a first down out to midfield. Tackle on that play, Costanza once again was in on that play, as well as 32, Vincent Parada.
Let's watch the replay here, Dan, and let's watch the delay from the tight end. Number 44 delays. He goes over the middle, and me and you love the tight end in high school football. That play could be there all night. Really nice pickup.
And me and you could have stood in that pocket and threw that because he had enough time to he could have sat back there and wrote a book.
I wouldn't want to catch the ball because one of them 18-year-old kids would hit me and then kill me.
First down, handoff, Carey. And Carey just right up the gut for 5. Fielder was there to make the tackle, and he's been very active in place of the injured Davidson.
And they went to the right side behind Branstad and Hornberger on the right-hand side. Dan from Miramonte picked up about 5. Curry's starting to get comfortable, and the front line is starting to get comfortable.
2nd and 5, the ball at the Alhambra 45, 8:55 to go here in the first quarter, and no score tonight on your AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week, the game for supremacy in the Diablo Foot Athletic League.
Oh, nice play.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch. Carey,
he's got
all kinds of room. First down, Carey. Carey still on his feet, and Carey finally tackled by Giffen at the 29-yard line. Steve, the blocking scheme on that and just the whole, the fact that they ran the inside fake, kind of almost like a play-action pitch, and they had the whole Alhambra defense overcommitted, and he could have just went over there and rolled a couple of trucks through that hole.
You really could have, Dan. It was like a misdirection, late pitch, and right when Curry took that corner, there was nothing there at all to contain him, and he really picked up a nice chunk of change there.
First down at the 29. Miramonte driving here early in the first quarter. Carey breaks a tackle outside, another first down, and you can really see where Eric Carey, Steve, this guy's one of the top runners in the area. He leads this league with 603 yards and 9 touchdowns, and he's having a big first drive for the Matadors.
And let's watch it here, Dan. They start off to the right side and watch Curry. Here he shoots out to the left side, and right there he does it all on his own, and now you can see why he's averaging 9.5 yards a carry. It was Carey, and he's carrying for 9.5 yards a carry.
You were slurring your A and your U.
I said Carey and Curry and Curry.
So I just want to make sure he knows that you're talking about him. First down. Hand off the first back through. Grebe, the fullback, and Grebe just kind of falls ahead for one. Kind of Tom Rathmaning. Is that a word, Rathmaning?
It is now.
Okay, thanks.
Because I know
we have such an effect on the culture of the youth around here. The ball is at the 14-yard line after a gain of 1.
Real nice drive by Miramonte, Dan. They're eating up the clock a little bit and mixing it up on play actions and running and passing, so they're feeling really comfortable.
Well, they have a big line, as you mentioned, and they said it's one of the biggest and strongest and fastest lines they've ever had. Of course, they have another great quarterback, and they have the big back in Carey, and they also have a great receiver in Brendan Wright. 2nd down. Here's a handoff, Carey. And Carey this time kind of delays and gets ahead to about the 10-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. Trying to get the tackler over there. I tell you, Steve, when the ball gets on that far side, though, sometimes we're not very high, and we kind of get stuck, and so we're going to do the best job we can getting you the tacklers. On that last play, I really couldn't identify the tackler.
Yeah, and Carey right there, even when he falls forward, he doesn't get a whole lot. He picks up 4. So he picked up 4 on that. Damn big 3rd down play right here for Miramonte.
3rd and 5. The ball at the 15-yard line. At the 10-yard line. And here's Carey again. And Carey is still on his feet, and he's going to be really close to a first down, Steve. I think this is going to require a measurement.
I think the spot they're going to give him, they're going to give it to him, Dan. They're moving the chains.
They did inside the 5-yard line, so 1st and goal, Miramonte.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. Gillen just steps back right here, and it's power left on the left-hand side. There's a couple of good blocks. Grebe does a good job of blocking, and right here, Carey just falls forward for the first down.
Weeks and Smith also out there on that left side. Miramonte beat Campolindo last week, 43-14, and they're on their way to their first score here tonight as Carey goes right up the middle, and Carey stopped just short of the goal line. It's going to be 2nd and 1, Steve. Alhambra last week beat Acalanes, and of course Acalanes, Miramonte beat the week before, so if you're looking at common opponents, Miramonte won in the last minute by 4, and Acalanes won by 1, so should have a good one here.
Should have a good one.
We'll talk a little bit more about the combatants and the coaching staffs when we have some time. But Miramonte on the doorstep here. Second down, the ball at the 1-yard line, and Gillen keeps it, and he's in for the score. A 1-yard run from Mark Gillen, and on the first drive that eats up 6 minutes, Steve, Miramonte leads 6-0.
Very impressive from the get-go, Dan. They got the ball, and Gillen led them all the way and mixed it up, and they had their way on this drive. 7-0, 6-0. They're going to try to add on the point right here, Dan. And I'll let you say the kicker's name, Dan.
Vibach.
Vibach. Very good. See, all them hockey games you go to, it helps you.
There are a few. Wait till the punter comes out. Then
okay.
That's even more fun.
I'll let you have at him, too. I have trouble with Smith.
And I believe I heard a whistle, but there's no flag, and the kick was wide left out of the hold of number 16, Derek Murray. So the score, with 5:58 to go first quarter, is Miramonte 6 and Alhambra nothing, Steve. Let's talk a little bit about the Miramonte Matadors, Steve, the first time we've ever presented them on this channel that we've been involved with. As we see 7 carries, 51 yards on the first drive. He's well on his way to about a 600-yard game.
Yeah.
Floyd Burnstead, of course, in his 20th year, the head coach of the Miramonte Matadors, and he's assisted by Paul. And we're going to look at the touchdown real quick, Steve.
Yeah, right here is just a quick little sneak. Gillen just kind of he only had about a foot to go. It was spotted right at the 1-foot-yard line. They carry almost got in, so they got 6 right there.
Looked like you trying to sneak into bed around 3 in the morning. Paul Airberry, Johnny Holloway, Vince Delquilla, Sonny Brockman, George Crowell are the assistant coaches of the Miramonte Matadors. John Wade, the JV coach. And, of course, last year, Steve, they were 11-1, 2-0 in the playoffs, beat Las Lomas for the North Coast Section Championship, their 5th championship in the last 20 years. And, of course, they're just one of the powerhouses out here. They even wear the colors of the other powerhouse out here.
And, you know, Dan, on November 9th, we'll be doing Miramonte Las Lomas.
Yes, we will. That was Pachoa, the kicker. There's another name for you, Steve, and the kick is short, taken by a Bulldog. I think that's Giffen, and Giffen is tackled at the 23-yard line. Let's take a look at the Alhambra offense as Zach Hall, the quarterback, leads the Bulldogs out. Sean Burke, who had a big game last week against Acalanes, and Dwayne Riley are the running backs. Mike Yamamoto and Dan Giffen, the wide receivers, and Matt Fielder, the tight end. The offensive line of Concepcion, Braca, Marlar, Damron, and Jawakam is kept Alhambra moving the ball this season. And Zach Hall, there he is, out in the shotgun. So Alhambra's showing a new look on first down, and Hall to throw on first down, and he's got time. Oh, and then he actually, that's number 90 for Miramonte, and that was an ugly play after. It looked like something was going to happen there, and Joe Swice came in, and he kind of pushed Hall, and then Hall came outside and then threw the ball to bounds. Could have been grounding there, Steve. I don't know what the call is going to be.
I'm waiting for him. One's marking it where he went out of bounds. Go ahead, Dan.
Will McConico, Robert Rue, and Joe Swice, the line for Miramonte on defense. Steve Hull, Mike Cruz, Mike Semmelmeyer, and Ben Robinson are the linebackers. And in the defensive backfield, Noah Kornblith, John Perlstein, Eric Carey, and Andrew Chapman. And say Noah Kornblith 5 times real fast, Steve.
Noah Kornblith? Well, I can't even say it was.
So they give Alhambra a 4-yard loss on first down. It's 2nd and 14. And this is going to be the big question tonight. Will he have enough time to throw? He had a lot of time against Concord when we saw him out here, and they won that game 38-0. Will he have enough time to throw against Miramonte, Steve? This is the question for Zach Hall. Second down, play action, and Hall throws one out into the flat to Giffen, and there's a penalty flag as well on the play. And that time he had the time, but he overthrew Giffen, his intended receiver.
Let's hear what the call is, Dad.
Got a hold, number 62, blue.
I guess he had a
hold on 62
He had a hold on
blue.
62. Right here we got a court of guilty, and found him guilty, and they're going to be marching him back.
And we're close to the courthouse, too.
We're close to it. So far, Dan, Hall's had a little bit of time to throw the ball. The first play, he had all kinds of time to throw the ball. They just ran a long pattern that didn't open up, and he kind of got pushed around a little bit on that first play.
So they take the penalty, Steve. No, actually, they declined the penalty.
They declined it.
Okay, it looked like they were going to take it, but now they declined because Alhambra had lined up 10 yards deep. They come up to the line of scrimmage, 3rd and 14, the ball at the 18-yard line. Hall this time with 2 wide receivers, far side, and 2 tight ends in the game. And a handoff, and they just kind of conceded that as really only gets a couple, Steve, and Alhambra's going to have to punt. So you'd have to say on that first round, Miramonte scores and keeps the ball 6 minutes. Alhambra goes 3 and out and only uses up about 35 seconds of clock time.
And Robert Rue stuffed that in the beginning, or the middle for Miramonte. not a very impressive drive for starting out for Alhambra. And on the flip side, Miramonte had a very impressive drive. So early on, Miramonte's winning the battle.
Perry, the punter, as well as the kicker, and Carey and Lacey are back for Miramonte. They're right at midfield.
Nice
Good
kick.
This is Carey at the 46-yard line. Lacey in front of him to block, and Carey picking his way through on the return. He's got good yardage. He's in Alhambra territory, still on his feet, and he goes down inside the 20-yard line, Steve, and this Eric Carey's the real deal.
He really is, and what a move he made. He left somebody there holding, I ain't going to tell you what he was holding, but he went right around him like nothing, made a great return, and he is the real deal.
Let's say hello to our great friends of high school football here on AT&T Broadband Rock Bottom Records, where you can get the new Ozzy Osbourne record this week, Steve.
I know
Mecca
Ozzy Osbourne.
Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and there in big letters, Antioch Opticians, who we apologize for forgetting early in the season.
Greg Boom Boom Vallejo.
First down, delayed handoff to Lacey. And Lacey straight up the gut, still on his feet, breaking tackles, and Fielder finally brings him down after a gain of 8 yards. So Miramonte really in good position right here, Steve, to take a big lead early in the first quarter.
They're really moving. Let's watch this replay, Dan. Right here, it's just like a fake, they do a fake draw, or they give it to him, and he runs up the right-hand side. Right here, he gets hit, and he keeps his legs moving. He gets hit again, and right here, he bounces out of it and almost breaks a big one. Aldridge is on him. And Fielder comes and finishes it off. Number 42, nice tackle by him, but a nice, tough run on the inside.
The ball at the 10, 2nd and 3. That's right in motion. Handoff, Lacey again. And Lacey is near a first down for Miramonte, but a penalty flag, and I think we're going to get a hold, and it might be on Grebe, Steve, as he looked like he tackled Costanza, and if that would have been Alhambra with the ball, that might have been okay, but since Costanza's a defender, it's not okay. After this call, we'll take a look at next week's schedule.
Got a hold, number 42, White.
So a hold on Miramonte, and it was on Grebe, so I guess I'm getting better.
Good call, Dan.
Here's next week's game. This is a big one. Acalanes at Los Lomas, the 50th anniversary of Los Lomas High School. Should be a big crowd out there, and we hear Clay Callum's coming out to see us.
Cool.
Which means nothing to probably anyone outside of you and I.
Well, ever since Clay left Antioch, I don't have as many packages on 7th Street right there where we used to live. I used to hate going to that apartment complex. I used to hit the horn, Clay, come and get your stuff.
Clay Callum, of course, the assistant basketball coach of the girls at Acalanes, and they're getting ready to get their season, their practice underway. Gillen, play action, rolling, throws out to Grebe in the flat, and Grebe is still on his feet and tackled at the 10-yard line by number 32, Vincent Parada. But Miramonte, I'll tell you the big difference so far in this game, Steve, is Miramonte is just opening holes and creating time for their quarterback to run their offense.
They're really winning the battle up front. You're absolutely right, Dan. They're controlling the line of scrimmage, and here's the replay right here. Nice play action fake right here, and he's got all the time in the world. He just rolls out a little bit, hits Grebe right here in the flat, and he just lowers his head and picks up about 5 or 6 more. Miramonte is on the move again, Dan.
The ball at the 10-yard line, 3rd down. And here's Gillen with the pitch. That's Lacey. And if Alhambra can make a tackle, they're going to stop him, and they do. A good tackle that time from Faulkner coming up from his safety position. And it's going to force a 4th down, Steve, and what's going to be interesting to see here what they do, it's going to be 4th and about 3. And do you go for it, or do you send the kicker in who missed the extra point?
Look at number 74. What a beautiful block by Nick Smith right there. That opens it up a little bit. They kind of close it up, though, after that, Dan. I don't know. I'm moving the ball pretty good for Miramonte. I mean, they're moving the ball pretty well. Miramonte is, Dan. I would just go. Sure, until you prove you can stop me, I'm not gonna, I'd roll the dice.
So no gain on that last play. It's 4th and 3. This is a big play here in the first quarter. Alhambra trailing 6-0.
Watch Carey sweeping over here to the right-hand side, Dan.
And here's Carey, and I don't think they got it.
No, they did not get it.
And that could turn the momentum in this game. Carey stopped after a gain of 1. Let's get another look at this one, Steve. Some great tackles by Alhambra in the middle of that line.
Well, Alhambra, Palma and Dameron does a real good job right up here up front. Dameron, 74 is the initial contact. He kind of stuffs it, and they're not going nowhere. Good defensive play, and like you said, Dan, that's a momentum changer right there.
6-0, 2:06 to go first quarter, and here comes Hall with the Bulldogs in their second attempt as they hold Miramonte on that play, and that was a great play and a great stand for the Alhambra defense, Steve.
Now, why didn't that coach kick the field goal? I don't understand that, Dan. I just don't understand.
Because he was listening to you, which has been a big problem for a lot of people over their time. Hall handoff, that's Burke. And Burke, I'll tell you what though, Steve, irregardless of what went on that defensive stand on the other side, Miramonte is showing that they're going to be a force on this side of the ball with their line as Burke is thrown for a loss of 6.
Andrew Chapman did a real good job, number 8, pursuing that. Burke got hit in the backfield initially, Dan, to start it off, and then it was just, what do you call a swarming matador? A matador, I mean, they can't be swarming.
A pack of matadors.
A pack of matadors?
A herd of matadors. A whole bunch of matadors.
Touche, matador.
Yes, touche. Loss of 6. 2nd and 16. Hall throws out in the flat. That's Giffen. And Giffen barely back to the original line of scrimmage. Carey makes the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down, Steve. Clock running, 1:20 to go. Let's talk quickly about Alhambra's coaching staff. Of course, Dave Silvera, also in his 20th year. Dan Cacavo, John Creasy are the only there. And there's Dave right there, Steve. They only have 3 coaches. It's another one of those ones we've talked about over here. Now, Miramonte has 6 or 7, but nothing like the, look at that, 3 North Coast section titles, the last in 96, and he's been here for 20 years. And he doesn't look like he's old enough to have been here 20 years.
He looks
Steve.
better than both of us, that's for sure.
Well, you anyway. 3rd down. And I'll tell you what, Steve, they just don't have any time.
No, they don't.
You look out here in the coverage, they've got 2 guys on the receiver over the middle. You had Yamamoto covered deep. You had the tight end fielder covered. Look at this. They just don't have any time. No one's getting open.
Hey, right, it is, Dan. He's in the pocket, and 48 just bowls through and just gets him, and he thought he had a safety.
Robert Rue.
Rudy Poo. You got me on that poo right in the eyes.
And Perry is nearly outside the offense out there getting ready to punt. He is right in the very back.
He's at Highway 4.
And he gets off a good kick trying to get it out of there. Oh, and it takes a Alhambra bounce as Lacey is forced to go back to his 46-yard line. Carey tries to throw the block. Oh, and then there's a penalty on that play, so this one's going to come back, Steve. So Alhambra lucky to get out of that one here with 6 seconds to go in the first quarter. But we're going to get the call here. I'm sure it's going to be an illegal block on the Matadors.
I think number 90 got nailed.
Joe Swice,
I think. Let's see if number 90.
On the return, we got a clip. 9-0 white.
And that was Joe Swice.
I'm getting good,
You're getting good, too. So if that's from the spot of the foul, Steve, it's going to set them back 15 yards. I think they're going to start right around midfield.
What a beautiful night for football, Dan.
It's been beautiful out here both times we've been here. And next week we'll be in Walnut Creek for Los Lomas, Acalanes, and in 2 weeks we'll be at DVC for Ignacio Valley and Antioch, and that ought to be an interesting game. In that league, don't even ask.
What
the heck is going on?
Ignacio kills Pittsburgh. Liberty beats Ignacio.
I don't even have a clue. 6 seconds to go. First down. Gillen play action. Gillen being forced out of the pocket. And here comes some pursuit that time from number 57, Burleson, and also Aldridge knocked Gillen out of bounds after a gain of a couple. And that'll be the last play of the first quarter. The score after 1 quarter of play at Knowles Field in Martinez is Miramonte 6 and Alhambra nothing. We'll be back in 1 minute on AT&T Broadband's High School Game of the Week.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
What you doing, Dad?
I'm just getting rid of my old used motor oil.
Dad! Dad! Dad!
What? Whoa!
It's Mr. Funnelhead, the captain of clean water.
What are you doing? Use your brain, not the storm drain. Recycle your used motor oil for a cleaner future. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back in Martinez, Miramonte leads 6-0, and we're right back to action, Steve. It's second down, 8 yards to go for the Matadors and quarterback Mark Gillen. They lead by 6, and they dominated the first quarter.
They really did.
Here's Carey on a deep draw, but he's going to be tackled for a loss, and now that was a big pack of Bulldogs.
The pack of Bulldogs led by Filter, number 42.
I saw Palma over there. I saw
Ryan
over
Dameron
there.
was over there. Let's watch a replay. Let's watch 42, how he mixes it up here a little bit. He penetrates right there. There's 42 right there. He's the one who starts this mess. And then right there, there's like about 4 pit bulls all over him.
And Gliato was also in there. You know, Steve, this is the second time Fielder's been the best defensive player, and he wasn't even supposed to start. He's taken Davidson's place. Last time we were here, it was Martinez.
Martinez who went crazy. And Martinez is hurt.
3rd and 15. The ball at the 45-yard line of Miramonte. 11:42 to go here in the first half, and Miramonte leads 6-0 tonight on AT&T Broadband's Game of the Week. And Gillen throws a pass, and I'll tell you what, right there, the defenseman on that play, number 32, or the defensive player, Vincent Parada, really made a mistake by not turning, Steve, as number 44, Bennett, the tight end, was able to come back to that ball and get the reception.
You know, and Gillen looked like he knew that all along. He just, let's watch him. And you're going to love this, Dan. He stands tall in the pocket.
Yes,
here.
he does.
He stands real tall in the pocket, looks up and throws it. He knew that the defender had his back turned. And right here, watch him make an adjustment on it. Very good throw. Good catch.
You know, I was watching Family Feud the other day, and they had a category. Dan and Steve's favorite sayings. You know what number 1 was?
What?
He stands tall in the pocket.
He stands tall in the pocket. And I take my hat off to him.
That was number 2.
Oh.
And Dan, you're absolutely right, was number 3.
I look like Louis Anderson, don't I?
Well, in certain areas.
Ooh.
Oh, this is just short of a first down. They're going for it. 4th and very short, maybe 1 yard. Can Carey get there? He just barely does. Giffen was in on that tackle. Parada was over there. Gliato came over there. But Carey is going to get a first down for Miramonte. And, Steve, I go back to that previous play. That was a huge play. If the defender for Alhambra had just turned around, as you see Carey's stats, 10 carries already and 50 yards.
Yo, you're absolutely right, Dan. That was a big play, and they strung that out a little bit right there. The defense played it real well, but it's hard to hold Carey under a yard every time he touches the ball.
We'll talk about both of these teams' seasons so far, Steve, when we get a break here in the second quarter. It's first down. The ball right at the 40-yard line of Alhambra. Second quarter, Miramonte 6, Alhambra nothing tonight on AT&T Broadband. Carey trying to get outside. And it looked like Costanza made the tackle. He was trying to get Weeks out in front of him to block, but Costanza read that well and makes the tackle after a gain of about 4.
Well, our man, number 42 on defense, he helped string it out a little bit, Dan. Number 42.
Fielder,
yeah, he's been playing on defense. They don't got him on the starter, but let's watch 42. Like, he strings it out right here for Costanza. Right here it comes in. Here's Fielder. And number 74 strings it out. 85 is coming in on. Fielder just misses. And 85 does a real good job pursuing.
It was actually Camberg, not Costanza, who made that tackle. We're going to call that a gain of 4 on that play, Steve. 2nd and 6. The ball at the 35. Gillen, deep drop. And he throws a screen to Carey. And a tremendous play, and that was Costanza.
That was Costanza. He read it really well. And they're going to lose some yardage on this one, Dan.
So Alhambra's defense starting to play a lot better here over the course of these last 2 possessions for Miramonte. It's going to be 3rd and long for Miramonte, and they need to hold them and try to get the ball back. They need to get their offense going, though, Steve. This game is going by very quickly.
Yes, it is. I talked to Coach Severa before the game, and I got his opinion. I go, what's the keys to the game? He says Miramonte's going to have to make a couple mistakes for us.
And he also said in the newspaper they can't score 30 or 40 points.
No.
They're going to have to hold them to about 3 touchdowns to have a chance. Gillen to throw on 3rd down. Nearly slips in the pocket. Throws one out for his wide receiver. That's number 4, Wright. And Wright has the reception. He's out of bounds at the 15, and then I think we're going to get a late hit on Aldridge as he knocked Wright out of bounds. Steve, this is on 3rd down. They haven't been able to stop him, and things are getting kind of ugly for Alhambra here.
And Gillen slipped in the pocket again. He's been having trouble finding his feet in the pocket, but he hung in there real tough and waited for it to clear open. Threw a good ball. They're moving the chains, and we got a penalty, Dan.
And Steve, we
Personal
have a
foul on 20, late hit.
You're right, Dan. Good call.
Dead ball foul here. Got a personal foul, 20 blue.
We have a nice crowd out here tonight, Steve. Of course, only one side of this stadium has stands, and let's take a look at it.
There's the slip right there. He steps up and throws it right there. He clears it out and does a nice out move. And here's Aldridge a little bit late. I don't know about that.
Oh, no.
You know, I don't know about that call, but
you know, you got to make that call when it really is
Right.
is trying to hurt someone. You know, he arm tackled him around the legs.
he probably didn't know
a
the kid
foot
was
out of bounds.
Yeah,
That's-
and he didn't even know the kid was close to out of
yeah,
bounds. He was watching.
that's something that they should have just let that one go.
Yeah,
There's no reason to wasting our time there.
I agree with you, Dan.
First and goal, the ball at the 9-yard line. It looks like Carey. It looked like a couple of new Bulldogs. John Downey, whose name we haven't called yet, was in on that tackle.
Real nice play by Downey.
Steve, Alhambra 4-1 on the year we mentioned, losing to Palma, but they beat Mount Diablo, conquered Dublin and Acalanes. Not exactly the powerhouse teams in this league.
Right.
That's why tonight's game, I think, for them is so important. Amazingly enough, though, Dublin is a common opponent. They for Miramonte, they beat Hogan in their first game. College Park, Acalanes, and Campo Lindo. But you look at Acalanes scored 31 points against Miramonte, and Alhambra has yet to hardly gain a yard in this game. So that could lead to some interesting things down the line for some of the games we have coming up later in this year. Second down, Gillen play action. Throws into the end zone. He has a receiver, and he has the tight end, Bennett. Touchdown, Matadors. And it's 12-0, Steve, with 8:28 to go in the first half.
And they made it look really easy on that drive right there. Dan Gillen leading them down the field, mixing it up a little bit with Carey and throwing the ball. And they had their way on that drive.
And they're probably going to go for 2 in this situation, Steve. You can see Gillen just very smooth in the pocket, very confident, doesn't panic. When he gets that play action, has that time, and it just looks like they're getting guys open on those, really getting them open on the short, and they've been able to get them open down the sideline as well.
They really have, Dan. He's had all day to throw the ball, so he's really confident back there right now.
They're going for 2 here, up 12-0, Miramonte. And here's Gillen rolling again. Everyone is covered, though, on this play, and Gillen will be sacked for a loss. And the 2-point conversion is no good. So the score with 8:28 to go first half is Miramonte 12 and Alhambra nothing, Steve. And we're going to take a look at our sponsors here once again, or our friends of football and high school football on AT&T Broadband, Rock Bottom Records, of course. And the new album by Lit is coming out this week.
Lit.
Don't even ask.
Okay.
New Mecca Cafe, images of 3 hairstyles. New Mecca, by the way, we're making like 2,000 burritos tonight when I went over to pick up the food. SNS Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylists for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. Thanks for your support of high school football here.
2,000 burritos, huh?
Just for the 3 football. You know, Deer Valley, Antioch, and Pittsburgh are all playing at home tonight. Nothing like trying to spread the crowd out a little bit.
No.
Deer Valley hosting Ignacio Valley. Antioch playing Freedom in a big one. And, of course, the Big Green Machine going for their 118th victory at Pittsburgh against the Pirates. We'll see Antioch and Pittsburgh on our very last game of the week, 4 weeks from tomorrow, here on AT&T Broadband. The kicker is Pachoa. And this is number 33, Gliato, with the ball and the kick. And Gliato comes up a seam, tackled at the 24-yard line. That's where Alhambra will take over, Steve, and they simply have to do something on this drive, or it's going to be real tough for them to get back in this ballgame.
Cameron Lacey made a real nice tackle right there, Dan.
Take a look at our great friends of AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week, and of course Rocco's, the Restaurante and Pizzeria, voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times.
Rocco's.
Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of new movie magic. We'll have to get back to the friends after this play. First down. The ball at the 24. Hall, handoff Burke, and Burke picks his way through for about 3. Carey was in on that play, as well as number 48 was there, Rue. Let's take a look also at the Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Dave Jackson's right behind us, of course. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. However, I've never really thought that it was really cool. But
you just paid the cash, baby.
Hey, here's my $24, change my oil. At Paramount Technology at Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again for helping us out here and taking care of the friendships on high school football here on AT&T Broadband. There's Burke. And Burke gets about 3 before Cruz makes the tackle, Steve. So
Mike Cruz. I like that.
C-R-E-W-S.
Mm-hmm. And as you notice, Dan, as you can see the difference between Burke's 3 yards and Carey's 3 yards. Burke's yards are a lot tougher to come by right now. The Mats defense are playing very well. They're very active, the linebackers. They're winning the battle both offensively and defensively. I think Hall's going to have to mix it up and throw some passes here, maybe get some play action and roll out and try to get some stuff going on.
3rd and 2. And Hall again to Burke. But they're making contact at the line, Steve, and Burke is not able to find his hole, and once again dropped for a loss. Alhambra is going to be forced to kick. So Alhambra has went 3 and out on all 3 of their drives. And we've played almost 18 minutes of this game, and Alhambra's only ran 9 plays on offense.
Steve Hull was in on that tackle, number 31. He came up and made a nice play, Dan. And they're playing very aggressive defense. They're swarming all over the place.
I'm a little surprised, Steve, at the dominance of Miramonte in this game, just because when you look at the teams they've played, common opponents, they were pretty close games, and Miramonte really shutting down Alhambra here tonight. Great kick, though, from Perry. That's Lacey at the 28-yard line. Lacey up the right sideline and finally knocked out of bounds over there from by Camberg, and Miramonte's going to take over at the 40, right at the 39-yard line of the Matadors. 6:18 to go, second quarter. 12-0 Miramonte here on AT&T Broadband. Steve, next week we'll be at Walnut Creek at Las Lomas High School as you take a look at Dave Silvera, the head coach of the Alhambra Bulldogs. And there's our schedule for you. Ocalanis at Las Lomas, of course. Antioch, Ignacio, Clayton, Antioch, Miramonte at Las Lomas, and Antioch at Pittsburgh. Great games to close out the season. Then a couple playoff games coming your way here on AT&T Broadband. I just got the basketball schedule too, Steve, so we'll have to look at that here together soon. Lacey up the middle, gets about 3. And the usual suspects over there for Alhambra. Palma was in on that play. I saw Lane. Here's the rest of the schedule, though, Steve. Saturdays and Sundays at 7 p.m. Always remember to watch us on AT&T Broadband. And I'm looking forward, of course, to the last weekend. Miramonte at Las Lomas could be and should be for the league title. And Antioch at Pittsburgh, and that could be for the title. We could have 2 title games back-to-back on that Saturday and Sunday.
Well, that Antioch-Pitt game, whether it's a title or not, it's a big little game, and it don't matter. Lock the children up and come out and watch this one because it gets crazy.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6 for Miramonte, driving, trying to take a commanding 18-0 lead, and that's Lacey as a first down. Lacey on his feet, Lacey into Alhambra territory, and he's tackled at around the 30-yard line. We're going to call it the 32-yard line, and I'll tell you, Steve, Miramonte is just dominating this game.
Real nice play action, Dan. They run on the left-hand side behind Miramonte's offensive line, Kevin Weeks and Nick Smith. Right here, he's off to the races. Aldridge comes in and makes a tackle, knocks him down, but he picks up about 25 yards, moves the chains. Miramonte's in business again, Dan.
Aldridge, Lane, and Gliato, the tacklers for Alhambra. First down. Now they've spotted it at the 33-yard line, Steve, so
not
moving back.
Yeah, not as quite as far as I thought.
But Miramonte, the yardage differential in this game is huge so far, probably somewhere in the neighborhood of about 150 to 10. And here's Gillen to pass. And Gillen, what a throw, what an arm. That's a touchdown, Miramonte. Brendan Wright from 33 yards out, Steve, and I dare say it, but Miramonte is really pulling out in this game. They lead 18-0.
Boy, he really put that ball right on the numbers. Griffin couldn't stay with him. He did a nice slant right there, kind of went down and slanted on in and just took it on in for 6, Dan. Beautiful throw.
I'm just shocked at the way Miramonte's doing this. I had no doubt they could score 20 points, but I'm shocked that Alhambra hasn't been able to do anything on offense and match them drive for drive.
You know, they're not putting no pressure on Gillen. He's getting his confidence, and that's the worst thing you can do to a good quarterback.
V-Bach on to attempt the extra point. It's 18-0, and here's the kick, and it's up, and it's good. The score with 5 minutes exactly to go first half is Miramonte 19 and Alhambra nothing. So, Steve, what does Alhambra got to do? And don't tell me score 19 points.
No, they don't, Dan, but they have to sustain a drive and show that they can move the ball against Miramonte's defense. Even if you got to eat a little bit of the clock up just to get your confidence back, try to score before the half ends to cut the deficit to a couple touchdowns so you have something to build on at halftime. There's Severa. You know he's very concerned. He can't figure out what's going on. So they have to, I look at it like this, Dan. They just have to put a drive together, eat the clock up, and let Hall throw the ball a little bit more, get his confidence up, and try to get in the end zone.
Well, he's a good short route thrower. They should probably go to some short routes. Plan on using up for this 5 minutes. They're going to get the ball to start the second half, and maybe they could get back into the game. But, you know, Gillen, he has already thrown for over 1,000 yards. Look at the quarterback comparison, too. Gillen, 4 for 458. Hall is yet to complete a pass, Steve. So
he needs to throw the ball a little bit more.
Gillen has thrown for over 1,000 yards now with this game and 7 touchdowns. Now should be 8 touchdowns, as you see the kick. And that's going to be into the end zone, and Alhambra's going to take over at the 21st down. Carey leads the league with 600 yards, now 600-plus yards in rushing. And Wright is one of the top receivers in the areas. We got a little chicanery going on out on the field.
We got a little chicanery, and Gerard
Narabon.
Number 48 might not be in this game too much longer. Here's a replay of the touchdown. Look at this throw. Right on a rope. Boom. Hits him. Beautiful throw and catch. No, that was Brendan Wright.
48 it was, right?
Yeah, it's 2:01
Red ball.
to about 3
Personal foul
right now.
on 48 blue.
Well, Alhambra's really starting to fall apart, Steve. Not only down 19-0, they've had 2 personal foul penalties on the last 2, just about within the last 5 plays. And here's Gillen, 4 for 4 for 59. Zach Hall yet to complete a pass. Miramonte's outgained Alhambra 201-3 so far.
Yikes.
So you can imagine that Coach Silvera is not very happy with the situation. I can't say that he's really disappointed with the effort. I mean, they've been out there trying hard. They have made some nice defensive plays when they have, but this defense have been on the field virtually the whole first half.
They really have, Dan. That's a good call. They've been out there battling, and that big, massive offensive line of the Miramonte Matadors are starting to take over up front. Yeah, they're having their way. They can either run it with Carey or throw it with Gillen.
And there's Mark Gillen going to the University of Miami, and he will be the next in line of the great quarterbacks there, and his former Matador alumnus, Ken Dorsey, there now. Here's Hall, has time, over the middle. Oh, and he had Fielder, and if Fielder would have caught that, he could have ran all the way down to the to Highway 4, Steve, and probably turned around and came back.
I think we have a flag on the play.
Was that yellow thing out there on the field?
That's a flag.
Yeah.
Not the thing waving from the pole that we're all proud of.
Yes, we are very
proud.
proud.
It's a yellow thing.
Illegal receiver against blue.
How do you get a legal receiver on a play like that?
I don't know, Dan.
That's a confusing one, Steve, because that was a.
I don't think that guy likes Alhambra.
Okay, might not. And so the ball goes back 5 more. It's going to be 1st and 15 from the 5, Steve. So Alhambra needs to go 95 yards just to get on the scoreboard the first time, with 4:55 to go first half.
Well, I think the first thing they need to do, Dan, is make a play of positive yardage right now, just to get back in the rhythm of things.
And, you know, this isn't something that the players at Alhambra are used to, Steve. They're used to being in games and dominating most opponents.
Yes.
Here's Hall to throw. Goes up the sideline. That's a new receiver. Oh, and he's got it. That's O'Shawn Head in the game. And a tremendous play and catch, and then a penalty. Oh, they're going to – now, see, Alhambra really needs to get their head together. They're going to call him for some kind of celebration.
Yeah,
Watch
they're going to get it from unsportsmanlike. Right here. Here's a throw, Dan. He just airs it out. Throws it right on the money. Watch him right here. He spins the kid around, makes a nice catch. Then he comes and does it doesn't show up, but he showboated. It's going to cost him.
Head over number 20, Kornblith, on that play. A gain of 32. However, the penalty will take them back 10.
And sportsmanlike, number 81, blue, taunting.
That's the 7th penalty on Alhambra, Steve, for 70 yards. Tell us what you think of the game of the week. Give us a call at 933-6264. That's 933-6264, and that's not Steve Sanchez's home phone number.
Thank God.
But 7 penalties for 70 yards. You're getting outgained now. It would be 201 to about 35. I mean, and this is not the Alhambra team we saw 3 or 4 weeks ago when we were here, Steve.
They had a great shot with Silvera talking to Head, and I heard what he said. He looked at me and says, "What do you think you're doing?" He goes, "You make a catch, and you got a showboat like that?"
Yeah, Miramonte should just pointed over to the scoreboard and said, "Look at the scoreboard." Hall to pass. Forced out of the pocket. And he gets about 2 back, Steve, as we see a bunch of Matadors in there. Rue was in on that play, number 51. Robinson in on that play as well, making the tackle. So Alhambra still with 4:30 to go here, clock running in the first half, but they trail by 19, and every time they've made a positive play, they turn around and shoot themselves in the foot, like on that penalty right there.
They really have, Dan. The second down, they just got to hold their composure right here. This is a big series for them right here. They need to move the chains. They got about 4:15 to go in the half. They don't need to panic right now, but they need to do something positive with this drive.
They're going to blitz on this play as Hall throws a screen pass out for Riley, and Riley, that pass is out in front of him. And it'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 8, Steve. So they're just not able to get any sort of momentum at all. They get a positive play, they get a penalty.
Yeah, they really do, Dan. Let's watch it. Let's watch the penetration. Here comes the match on a number 51 and number 90s right there, and he just throws it out.
Robinson and Rue once again.
Robinson and Rue once again, and just made him rush the pass, and he wasn't able to set it up, and really couldn't do nothing about it.
Look at the standings here in the Diablo Foothill Athletic League, Steve. Of course, Miramonte and Alhambra at the top 4-0. Los Lomas as well at 4-0. And if Los Lomas can beat Alhambra when they meet, we might have a pair of 8-0 teams meeting in 4 weeks. Exactly 4 weeks from tonight at Los Lomas for the league championship. Third down. Hall to throw. Here comes Swice. And Swice nearly makes a tackle, but Hall still on his feet. Hall. And then he throws the ball down. I'll tell you, Steve, they just can't get any sort of continuity going at all. He made a great play to get away from Swice, got back in the pocket, threw for Burke, and he undershot.
And it was really sad because Burke was wide open, and he came across against his body, and he looked up in the field, and it was wide open, and there was Burke, and he took his time and just underthrew him. He really needed to complete that pass right there. They could have moved the chains, Dan, and kept the drive going. Now you're going to give Miramonte with 3:55 to go in the first half another shot at the end zone. And the way they're moving the ball, it could be 26-0 at half.
3:55 to go in the half, 19-0 Miramonte. They're going to get the ball back as Perry's in to kick, and that punt is nearly blocked. No roughing on the call as Carey calls for a fair catch, then fumbles the ball. This could be the break Alhambra is waiting for.
I think Alhambra got it.
Let's see what happened. It was number 5, McNabb.
Nope.
Oh, and then, oh, man. And you can just see the disappointment on the Alhambra sidelines. If Carey had not been able to come up with that fumble, they would have had a shot, Steve.
Let's watch the replay. Here's a fair catch. He goes to get it. And right there, he loses it. 57.
It was actually 57. Burleson who was down there, not 5 McNabb. I'm sorry. I just saw the 5.
Yeah. But right down there's all kinds of grabbing and
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Steve. There was a gang of Bulldogs.
There was a gang of Bulldogs. That's how come I thought they had it.
And Carey
Get the
came out
bone,
of
dogs. Get the bone.
First down. The ball at the 47-yard line of Miramonte. Oh, and they run that fake. They bring the receiver around to fake the reverse, go right up the middle with Carey, and Carey gets 5. These guys look like the 49ers almost, Steve, and I talked to head coach Burnstead about that, and he says he's a very big admirer of the West Coast offense.
Yes, he really is. They ran behind Evans and Branstead and Hornberger, and they moved it on the right-hand side, Dan, and they picked up like 3 or 4, but they're a big. Miramonte's a big team. This is when they were warming up, you looked at them, they looked big.
When they came out, they looked big.
They just looked big.
2nd and 6. Gillen play action. Rolling. Still rolling.
Still rolling. Now he's
running.
And he's spinning.
And now he's tackled very hard. Costanza was there as well as number 74, Ryan Dameron. It's going to bring up 3rd down. I'll tell you the difference, though, Steve. Miramonte's been able to work the clock with their running game and then use the pass, whereas Alhambra hasn't been able to do that, and they're not able to run much time off the clock, and here's a replay.
And there's a replay. He just tucks it in right there. Costanza comes up and makes a nice hit. 74 comes over the top and rolls halfway to county jail. But they're moving the ball again.
And you know the distance from here to county jail, don't you? 3rd and 3. The ball at the 46-yard line. Gillen, a draw play. This is Carey. Carey has a first down, and I think Carey is going to go all the way for a Miramonte touchdown. Wow, what a call on 3rd down, 46 yards, a touchdown for Miramonte's Eric Carey, over 100 yards rushing, and it's 25-0, Steve, in the first half, and I don't think anyone in their right mind could have predicted this sort of blowout.
They really couldn't have, Dan. It all started from the get-go with Gillen getting the time to throw the ball, getting comfortable, getting his confidence, the offensive line controlling the battle up front, and you're seeing a good team starting to roll, Dan.
With those green pants and silver helmets and white shirts, Steve,
they look
you can
familiar.
Close your eyes, and who they look like?
Dun, 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 dun.
V-Bach on for the extra point, and I don't know what that was, Steve. I think the ref called a whistle just because it was so darn ugly.
Yeah, he said, you know what, you guys just go regroup.
Whistle.
Carey, 102 yards on 15 carries.
It was still live. Still live ball.
He blew it. He goes, I blew it. I bet it's still live ball. We'll give you another chance.
It's still live ball. Once you go over and tackle the ref, he's got the ball. You know, Steve, I failed to mention tonight, and I even have it written down, that Richard Mensing is our referee tonight. And he's being joined by Arnold Lehman, Kevin Coley, and Dennis Gunnarsson.
Good job.
You knew I'd get to that eventually, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
V-Bach on again. I'll tell you one thing, Steve. Alhambra at least can take some solace in the fact that Miramonte's special teams aren't doing very well. Now this is something to think about, though, Steve, even though it's 25-0. But when you get to the playoffs and you need those points, that's something Miramonte's going to have to work on. They obviously don't need much work on their offense.
No, they really don't. And right now you're looking at a frustrated Bulldog team on the sideline here. Coach Severa is kind of frustrated. And here's a block kick coming on in, Dan, right there. About half the team comes in and blocks it.
So they've been able to block 2,
yeah,
and he's missed 1. And they got the they kicked the 1 through, but it made it by about a foot. So that would have to be right now. The positives are for Alhambra is that they've been able to hold their kicker out of the between the uprights, Steve. Other than that, they haven't been able to hold him out of the end zone, though, which is.
I'm really impressed, Dan, with the speed of Eric Carey. He
gets the ball. Went to Deer Valley.
I know he did.
And transferred.
But that happens a lot in high school football.
They've got 3 big-time players, Gillen, Carey, and Wright. And if you look at that score sheet right now, you're going to see that those are the guys that have really made most of the noise tonight, along with the tight end Bennett. Pachoa to kick and a whistle, and I think we're going to get an offsides on this kick, Steve. Well, you know, Alhambra won last week against Ocalanas 14-13. Burke ran for 163 yards. Hull only threw for 82. So you can see what's going on here, is that they need Burke to run time off the clock, and they haven't been able to get it tonight.
And the more they get behind and the more the clock heats up the time of this game, Dan, I don't know if Alhambra's really got a good catch-up offense, you know, with the quarterback they have with Burke. He's like you said, he throws the short pass underneath a lot better than he does the long pass, and that eats up the clock. They got their hands full. Here's a replay of the touchdown right there, just a draw. Right here, he's off to the races. He turns up, and just speed right there. You can't coach that, Dan. Gets to the outside and just runs all the way in. Real nice run.
Here's the kick. And this is going to be in the end zone. And Alhambra, once again, the field position battle, the line battle, Steve, it's all being won by Miramonte.
It really is, Dan.
Steve, one thing I wanted to point out, we have yet to mention, Miramonte is rated 4th in the Contra Costa Times poll, 5th in the Chronicle poll. Of course, we talked about the big 3. Alhambra is an honorable mention in the Contra Costa Times poll, and I thought that was a little low, but after seeing the performance tonight, I can honestly say I think Miramonte's a lot better than we expected, and I think Alhambra's really just wasn't ready for tonight's game. Whether they're ready or not, I don't think they're ready for the onslaught that they're seeing here in the first half.
No, they really let's just see how they respond to it, Dan. We got a whole half of football to go. Either they're going to fold tent or they're going to start 5 battling.
Hall out of the, you know, he's just not on tonight, Steve. I will say that you can see that on the passes he's throwing. The game we did against Concord, we noticed that Hall had time and he threw precision passes. Tonight, he does not have as much time, but even when he does, he is not throwing the ball to his receivers.
And what that's due to, Dan, is you start off the game and you're quarterback and you're getting pressured. It throws your timing off a little bit.
That's Coach Bernstead at Miramonte.
Bernstead, yes, there
5 NCS titles and 20 years at Miramonte. Go ahead, Steve.
But that's amazing. They both got 20 years. They started the same year.
Same year.
Him. That's amazing.
2:15 to go here in the first half, 25-0. Miramonte leads on AT&T Broadband. An inside handoff to Burke. But here once again, Steve, Burke chased down behind the line of scrimmage. Number 31, Steve Hull makes the tackle. And Alhambra, other than that one long pass to head, they have yet to run a play over about 4 yards a game.
Let's watch it here. Look at the penetration on the line, Dan. There's about 4 mats right there. Burke wasn't going to get nowhere on that. And 31 roll, Steve Hull's really playing a good game so far.
Hull and Rue and Lacey were all in on that play. A loss of 5, 3rd and 15, Steve, with 1:42 to go, clock running first half. And I think Alhambra really just needs to get out of here and regroup. They're going to get the ball to start the second half, but they need to really rethink what they're doing on offense and really get their emotions under control because they've had a couple of really bad penalties. Here's the 3rd down play. Hall to throw, and Hall is swarmed under and sacked. And, Steve, they're just going backwards. There is just absolutely, you know, sometimes in blowouts, it's I'm really an admirer right now of the Miramonte defense and what they're doing.
Look at number 48, Rue, and the whole defensive front line is just like a jailbreak, and it's just unbelievable. They're just controlling the line and and I don't think Alhambra really thought Miramonte was going to be this fast, team speed-wise, Dan.
That's it, Steve. That one pass for 31 yards, that's the only play that Miramonte has really ran that's got a positive effect out of their offense here in the first half. 1:10 to go, 25-0 Miramonte, Steve. And this week's question of the week, would you like to see the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week listed in the Contra Costa Times television schedule? If yes, then give us a call or call the Contra Costa Times at 935-2525. I expect you to go home and call the Contra Costa Times when you get home tonight.
I'm going to go home and eat a Mecca burrito.
Why did I know that the answer would have to be, sure, I'll call after I have my bowl of soup, or I'll call after I have a big bowl of cereal, or I'll call after I have some ice cream.
Dan, I'll tell you what, there's 1:10 left. Miramonte's going to end up with beautiful field position, and it seems like he's up against the river punting again.
And
they almost snap
that's a high snap, and he barely gets it off, but Perry, one of the best players for Alhambra tonight, gets the kickoff. That's Lacey at the 40. Lacey down the sideline, still on his feet. Lacey with the return, cuts back against the grain. This is Lacey, and Lacey is finally tackled. Steve, it's unbelievable what is going on out here tonight. Tackled at the 12-yard line. Miramonte has 51 seconds to go 12 yards, and they could possibly have more than a 30-point lead in the first half.
Unbelievable. Aldridge made the tackle right there on that punt return right there, a game-saving, or not a game-saving, but a touchdown-saving tackle. Right here, watch him switch hands with the ball and get to the other side. There he goes. He almost loses it. Switch hands and goes against the grain right here, and there's the speed coming into play right here. Aldridge goes down low and trips him up. Nice return. Miramonte's in business again. Dan.
They spotted at the 11. Gillen to throw on first down. Throws. Oh, and that's a nice tackle. That throw was to number 9. First catch for Julian Halsapian. And Gillen running the hurry-up offense.
Here's a quick replay. Just a real quick down and out. Turn up right there. Nice tackle.
And we're back as Gillen just threw the ball down to stop the clock with 30 seconds to go. Steve, the ball at the 4-yard line, and Miramonte going to regroup here. And they still have to have a couple of timeouts left, Steve, I would imagine. I think they have 2 timeouts left, so they'll be able to use them. But you can just tell that this Miramonte offense is well-schooled and well put together by Coach Burnset.
You really can, Dan. They're prepared, and they had a great game plan. I'm really impressed with their offensive line and quarterback Gillen. And they're good. They're very good.
Third down. The ball at the 4. They need to get to the 1 for a first down. Handoff Lacey up the middle. 73 for Alhambra. Palma on the tackle. Miramonte calls timeout. It's going to be 4th down, Steve. An interesting call coming up here for Coach Burnset with 24 seconds to go. And, Steve, you can join the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week team.
I can?
You can.
Oh, okay.
You already are on the team, and there's been times we've actually thought about taking you off the team. No, I'm just teasing. Help support our effort to bring quality local sports to 220,000 cable customers in Contra Costa while highlighting your business during the game. The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is your opportunity to increase viewer awareness of your business and be a part of excitement. Be a part of the excitement of local hard-hitting football action, or basketball action, or baseball action, or soccer action, or wrestling action, or tube radio, or whatever you want to be a part of, we'll do it. If your business is interested, please give us a call at 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt, who, by the way, will be on after this game in both the Pittsburgh area and also the Walnut Creek area with this month's CC Rock, which highlights Blue Oyster Cult. And there, you can't, with Matt, all you have to do is say it, and it's up on the screen. Boom! Boom! And there's Eric Bloom, who wrote and sang, actually didn't sing, but played guitar on one of the great rock songs of all times, Don't Fear the Reaper.
Don't fear the Reaper.
And
I don't fear the Reaper. Do you fear him?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I would too if I were you. All the snaglings you pulled, holy Toledo.
Right now, I fear the mail, the water, the bridge.
Yes.
I fear everything right now.
I fear going to my car after this game.
4th down, the ball at the 2. Miramonte needs a yard for a first down with 24 seconds to go. They can really put this one out of reach, Steve, with a touchdown. They lead 25-0. Here's Gillen with the backs in an eye. It's Lacey and the fullback, Grebe. And here's Gillen to throw, and he's looking for right. Oh, and it would have been intercepted by Costanza on 4th down. Now, Steve, this is going to bring in an interesting situation as Miramonte's defense has to come up, but Alhambra has to try to get out of this situation with the ball on about the 2-yard line.
Let's watch this replay right here, Dan. And I'll tell you what, I don't like this fastball. Bernstein's a great coach. I do not like throwing the ball with, they had like a half a foot to go for a first down. I would have ran it with Carey and just said, hey, if you can stop him, you can have the ball. I don't like throwing it when you got half a foot to go for a first down on the 3-yard line.
Well, one thing they did there too, Steve, is they threw a pass that could be defensed. A lot of times with 1 yard, you throw that fade pattern where it's either my guy gets it or no one's going to get it.
Well, I mean, Bernstein's forgot more than I ever knew. I'm not trying to second guess him. But what was he thinking?
I'll ask him.
Okay.
Let's see if Alhambra can get out of here as Hall just takes a knee
down. They're going to get out of here. You're right, Dan.
Last play of the first half. The score at halftime, as both these teams are going to get out of here, and we're going to take a break, Steve, is 25-0 Miramonte. Did you have any idea this is what we were going to see?
Not at all, Dan, and I really think Alhambra's really in shock right now.
I do too. The score at halftime, the Matadors 25, the Bulldogs nothing. We'll be back after this break on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Hey, get me out of here! Help! Help! Help!
Wow, a filter that talks.
Wow, a human that doesn't know throwing an oil filter in the garbage can will pollute our landfills and our environment.
I've got a better plan for the future of Mr. Filter. After changing your oil and filter, place the filter in a sealed plastic bag. Make sure it doesn't leak, and take it to a certified used oil and filter collection center. They will then properly dispose of Mr. Filter in an environmentally friendly way.
Hey, wait a second. Don't close that door. Don't close it. Whoa!
Recycle your used oil filters for a cleaner future. For more information, call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out my website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at Knowles Field in Martinez, and the halftime score, Miramonte 25, Alhambra nothing. Here on AT&T Broadband's High School Game of the Week, Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez as always. And Steve, I don't think anyone thought that it would be this bad.
No, not at all, Dan. Not in our wildest dreams.
And not in Alhambra's wildest dreams.
No, not at all.
And there we are, looking very dapper tonight. As we're going to take a look at the scores in the first half. We got 4 for Miramonte, Steve, and it all started off. The quarterback, Mark Gillen here. Gillen. God, how many times have I messed that up?
That's
and here he is
time.
on a 1 yard little sneak up the middle. Here's the second touchdown play action, and he throws out to Bennett, the tight end. Do you want to say anything about that?
No, go ahead, Dan.
Okay.
You're taking it.
And here's a 33-yard pass to Wright, and it would have been even better if we'd saw it.
Yeah.
Mrs. Wright is going, can I see that again? And then here's Carey. Now, this is the big touchdown, the 45-yard drop.
And he's coming around the North Pole. Here he comes in the home stretch. It's Carey down the stretch. He's coming in the home stretch, and Carey's going to win by a length.
Did you practice that at halftime?
No.
What was that all about? We're going to take a 2-minute break. Be back for the second half after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Miramonte Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay, and most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Start of the second half at Knowles Field in Martinez as Miramonte leads Alhambra 25-0. As you see the kicker, Chris Pachoa.
Pachoa.
Say that 18 times fast, Steve.
Can't.
Okay. And after this kickoff, we're going to take a look at the halftime stats as Alhambra really needs to get something going here in the second half. They've yet to score tonight. They've yet to be on the other side of the field, on the Matador side of the field. And wait till you see these stats and you'll see the reason why. Here's Giffen with a second half kickoff right up the middle. And Giffen tripped up by number 31, Steve Hull. Let's take a look at these stats, Steve, and you can see the picture that this paints. It's not a pretty one if you're Alhambra. 135 yards rushing, 100 passing, 235 yards of total offense to 30. Take away the one long play to head, and they have 5 yards of total offense, 14 first downs to 1.
Just unbelievable dominance by the Matadors, Dan.
We'll talk about some individual stats as we have an opportunity here at the start of the third quarter. The ball at the 15-yard line, first down Alhambra. They trail by 25. And a handoff to Burke. And Burke with one of the best runs he's had so far in this game, near a first down. Burke in the first half, minus 6 yards, Steve, so he's in the positive category now.
And right here, Dan, they just run on the left-hand side of our Alhambra's offense line of Dameron and Filter. He opens it up, and that's a positive play for Burke right there.
As you can see, Lane injured and on the sideline. They have a lot of injuries in their secondary. Braca also blocking on. 2nd and 1. So Alhambra, only with one first down so far in that one play, could double that here early in the third quarter as Burke tries to get outside, and Burke just can't turn the corner. Good defensive play that time by someone who had to tuck his shirt way up.
23, Dan.
John Pearlstein, and Carey was over there as well, Steve.
And yeah, Pearlstein right here, Dan, right here. He spreads it out. Watch Pearlstein come up here, Dan, and just clip him down real low, and he strings it out, and there he is right there, and negative yardage. Big third down play for Alhambra here, Dan. About 3rd and 4.
Well, they're going to need to probably pass on this play, and Hall was 3 of 7 for 36 yards, but take away the 131-yard completion. He was 2 of 6 for 5 yards in the first half. Didn't have a lot of time to throw. So Hall here on 3rd down, and there's a penalty, and they're going to knock him back. And Alhambra really just did not bring their A game here tonight, Steve. I don't know how else to say it and be polite, but they're just making too many mistakes.
They're making too many mistakes.
Out here, we got a false start. Over here against Blue.
Doesn't that guy sound like the warden in that movie with Paul Newman? What was that movie called with Paul Newman? Cool Hand Luke?
Cool Hand Luke.
That was the longest yard. But that was Eddie Albert. He was a warden, too.
Mm-hmm.
Classic warden. Name a classic warden, Steve. You should know a few. Here's third down. Hall to throw from the shotgun over the middle, and he throws, and it's intended for his tight end fielder. Knocked down, and good defense that time coming from Mark Monroe for Miramonte, and Alhambra forced to kick again, Steve. And I think other than that one first down, Alhambra has went 3 and out on every single opportunity they've had in this game.
They really have, Dan. They've been up against a good team, a team that's prepared, and they've been getting the lower hand of everything so far.
Perry to kick, and Carey and number 22, Lacey, back deep. And the snap is over Perry's head, and this could be a safety, but Perry throws the ball downfield, and it's intercepted. And Steve, I don't think in anyone's wildest dreams. You can think right now there are people probably having some wild dreams too. Could anyone anticipate what's going on in this game? It's just incredible.
It really is, Dan. It's just like
yeah, they had an illegal receiver downfield.
On top of everything else.
It was Zach Hughes. The ball was intercepted. Miramonte's going to take over with great field position, and Alhambra just can't get anything right tonight.
No, really.
Eligible receivers downfield against blue. White captain.
That was a screwy play. I don't think anyone really even knows what's going to happen here. Steve, let's thank some of our great friends of AT&T Broadband as you see the discussion going on behind you. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. Great friends of high school football's, AT&T Broadband's high school football game of the week. Say that 5 times quick.
I can't say it once.
So the ball was intercepted by Miramonte, and they're going to take over, Steve, the ball at the 27-yard line. First down, 10:29 to go, third quarter. Here's some stats for Miramonte in the first half. Carey ran for 102 yards. Gillen was 9-9 for 100 yards, Steve, and Wright caught 6 passes for 70 yards.
That's going to hurt his stats.
Yeah, that all league thing's going to be thrown out the window after tonight. Oh, play action and a good fake. And then he goes up for Wright in the end zone. And that, you know what, Steve?
Yep.
That is a classic pass interference call.
Yes, it is.
Number 24 for Alhambra, Stephen Ayers, knocked Wright out of the end zone. But there is some debate as to whether that was a catchable ball. That was a little over his head. Wright's not the biggest guy in the world. They don't have the heights and weights up here. I think they did give it to us on the starters.
Defensive pass interference.
Well, let me tell you something.
24 blue.
Dan Griffin didn't make no doubt about it. He said he ain't going to catch it.
Well, it wasn't Giffen. It was Ayers.
Ayers. Let's watch it right here, the replay, Dan. In the end zone, he does a double fake.
Right, look at this.
Yeah, 24 Ayers does knock him out. Griffin was down there. It was 24. Good
but
call,
you know
Dan.
what? I don't know how they're going to spot this, because there's no way he could have caught that ball. He would have had to have been Chris Webber. I think it's a 10-yard penalty and a first down. Actually, they're spotting it as a half the distance to the goal. The ball now at the 14-yard line. First down, Miramonte, ahead by 25, 10:18 to go. And I feel real bad for Alhambra tonight, Steve. I know they were excited about being on tonight. We thought this was a big league game over here, and it is a big league game with both teams undefeated, but they just simply have not been able to compete against this Miramonte team. Gillen to throw on the run. Oh, what a pass to number 44, the tight end, Mark Bennett. Touchdown, but however, a penalty flag on the play.
You know, Dan, regardless of which way this penalty goes, boy, he could really throw the ball on the clothesline right there, boy. I tell you, he really aired it out right there, just strung it out to him and just put it right there on the
Ineligible receiver, downfield against White.
Ineligible receiver, Steve. You know, so far, the biggest deterrent to Miramonte has been the refs.
Yeah. Let's watch this right here, Dan. They kind of run at each other, carrying him in the backfield, sprints out. Watch his throw. Baby.
Look at it, right between 4 guys.
Yeah.
You saw Gliato over there, and you saw Ayers right in the middle of 4 guys, right in the hands of Bennett, but a penalty will push him back. It's still first down. It's first and, we're going to say, about 16. The ball at the 18-yard line of Alhambra. 10:10 to go, third quarter. 25-0 Miramonte. And a handoff on a reverse. This is Lacey. And Lacey and another penalty flag, Steve, as he's tackled by Giffen at around the 15-yard line.
Well, the refs are very active tonight, Dan. That's one thing I can say. We got a hold here on Miramonte, going to push him back a little bit more, Dan.
Our referee tonight, of course, is Richard Mensing. Arnold Lehman, Kevin Coley, Dennis Gunnarsson.
They're going to show a replay on this hold here. Here's a running out and spreading out. I don't see where the hold. Oh, there it is, right there. Occurs on the outside, right there. But they pushed him back a little bit.
It was Smith on Downey, the hold. So another penalty. And this is the most positive development for Alhambra yet in tonight's game.
Yeah, they're kind of moving them back right here. And if they could stiffen up on defense, they may get a chance to keep them out of the end zone right here, which they really need to do just for some confidence and a moral boost.
Steve, I dare say it, but it's first and Bertolas for Miramonte on first down. Gillen to throw, screen pass to
that's
Carey.
a lateral.
Oh, that's behind him. Go pick that ball up. Go pick that ball up. Go.
Yep.
This could turn the game around. That's Aldridge. And Aldridge is going to go in for a touchdown. This could be the break Alhambra needed, Steve. As Gillen threw the ball behind Carey, it was a live ball. Touchdown, Alhambra.
Yep.
We need to get a replay of this to see the mark and how far Aldridge ran. Wow, this could really turn things around for Alhambra if they can use this as a momentum builder.
Well, they needed a break. They needed something positive to happen. And boy, I tell you, talk about a shot in the arm. That's what they got. Let's watch the replay right here. Well, right there. And look at the ball, Dan. It goes within about a foot of going out of bounds.
I'm going to say that was about a 68-yard return, Steve. It looked like he picked it up about the 32-yard line. And Aldridge picks it up and goes all the way for the touchdown. Great heads-up play from Aldridge, who is one of their best heads-up players, as Perry's on to kick the extra point. And Perry's extra point is good with 9:43 to go. 25-7, Miramonte. And I'll tell you, Steve, we will see what Alhambra is made of now.
Well, Dan, they're not dead, but they're on life support right now, and they just got a little bit of life. So let's see how they respond right now. That's a big momentum booster, and it gives them a little bit of hope. So let's see how the defense responds.
I'd like to I don't know what kind of angle we had on that play. I'd like to see an Alhambra player force Gillen to make that pass. And
what's wrong? I'd like to see that right there. What's wrong with that pitcher?
Steve, these are young.
My daughter's
high
that
school
age,
girls.
but we need to show the guy. We need to show the cheerleaders once in a while.
Yeah, okay, all right.
My God, get your mind out of the gutter, Daniel. Jeez. You know, we are like them two old guys in the Muppets. You know, when you're talking, a couple weeks ago, you were talking about the two old guys in the Muppets. We're like them guys up there.
We do need to show the cheerleaders, Steve.
We do.
Yes, we do. I just was trying to not lead you down the wrong path, as you have been led many times.
Oh, my God. Thank you very much. 30 years after this, after totally tearing my life apart, now you don't want to lead me down the wrong path.
And Perry kicks this one deep to Carey. And then Carey fumbles it at the 1-yard line. Here's Carey. Outside. Oh, see, they do remind you of De La Salle in a way, Steve. Usually when something like that happens to De La Salle, they come right back with a big return.
Exactly.
Carey, a 24-yard return out to the 25. Miramonte takes over, 9:35 to go here in the third quarter, 25-7. So Alhambra not out of the woods yet, but they definitely need a stop and then a couple other scores. Actually, what they need, Steve, is about 3 stops and 19 more points. Here's next week's game, the Acalanes Dons and Los Lomas Knights from Walnut Creek, Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Remember that last week, the Los Lomas Miramonte game will be on Saturday night, and the Antioch-Pittsburgh game will be on Sunday night. First down, Miramonte, handoff to
Look at that
Lacey.
hole.
Lacey, a big hole, has a first down, still on his feet. A gain of about 17 yards. Costanza and number 24, Stephen Ayers, in on the tackle for the Bulldogs.
Dan, they ran behind Mark Bennett, Nick Smith, and Kevin Weeks. They just opened up that whole left side. Looked like the Red Sea opening up. They just ran right through it. You and Clay want to do the game next week, and I'll take a week off?
No.
Okay. I thought maybe, you and Clay would want to get back together.
No, if I give you a week off, you'll take the rest of the year off, and that'll be the end of that. First down, draw play, Lacey shakes a tackler.
Shake and bake.
Gain of 6. And that's the thing, Steve. Alhambra, even with the momentum, just can't stop Miramonte's running game.
Not right now. And right now, they have their big chance right here. They need to really step up big. Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. Just a nice little spin move right there and picks up about 5-6 yards.
He broke
Real
the
nice
tackle
run.
of Palma, and Camberg made the tackle. Would your business like to join the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week team? A great opportunity to increase viewer awareness of your business while supporting local high school sports. Call 933-6264 during the day and business operating hours. Gillen to throw, and he throws a bullet over the middle to Bennett, and Bennett was defended by Gliotto, and number 42 fielder, incomplete. It's going to bring up a big third down play, Steve.
And Dan, I think that was Gillen's first incomplete pass of the game. I could be wrong. He might have another one, but I haven't seen one since then, or I can't remember seeing one.
Our stat crew was trying to give us some stats. Oh, I see what they're saying. Is that Gillen was 9-9 in the first half. He's yet to complete a pass in the second half.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
That's why we have stat guys. Third down, the ball at the 47-yard line of the Matadors. Gillen to throw, throws into the flat, and he throws it behind number 42, Grebe. And Steve, we're going to see something that we haven't seen since warm-ups. The Miramonte punter.
Yeah. And what's his name, Dan?
Chris Pachoa.
Pachoa.
Spelled
Here's a replay right here.
P-A-C-Z-O-C-H-A.
Right there, watch this one hand. He tries to grab it with one hand, throws it behind him a little bit. And he goes, I'm going to hit you anyway. Alhambra stopped him, Dan. They're going to get the ball back.
First time tonight.
Their defense rose to the occasion. Let's see what their offense does.
Pachoa to kick. Oh, a bad snap. Pachoa nearly blocked. Gets off a great kick, though. That's Ayers. And Ayers is going to let it go out of bounds. Have to wait to see where this mark is. Irregardless, though, Steve, do we have an injured Alhambra player? No, he's just slow to get up. This is being marked. Now, how in the heck can a guy mark that who was 50 yards down the field?
I don't know. That's Nate Camberg coming off the field, a little bit shaken up there.
You can hear some of the activity down on the sidelines as we get ready for Alhambra's possession here in the third quarter. They trail by 18.
I think trips means, he's shaking up. There's Camberg right there shaking up. I think trips mean three to the right, wide receivers. Let's see if they come out with three.
Well, they only have one, so
much for
it actually looks like they have three tight ends.
I guess that's their trips.
And this is a handoff to Burke, and they do need some more blocking, and Burke finally outside and knocked out of bounds. That was number 23, the man with the pulled-up jersey, John Perlstein.
Here's a replay right here. Burke gets to show you a little bit of his speed on the outside right here. He gets the ball. Number 62 comes out, buries his man. Real good block right there by Alhambra, Derek Braca. And he gets to the outside, shows his speed right there, and picks up about 8 yards.
Gain 8, 2nd and 2. 8:12 to go here. Clock stopped in the third quarter, and Alhambra trailing by 18, 25-7 on AT&T Broadband tonight. And there's an offsides, I believe, on Miramonte. Steve, these two teams look like Cal playing De La Salle, and if Cal did play De La Salle, would De La Salle streak end?
Well, it'd be about the same score as it is right now. De La Salle will be up 25-7.
On Cal.
On Cal. And then be begging Lattiser to come over to Cal. They said, hey, we'll give you the guy who used to play defensive back for the Niners.
That's the second first down of the ball game for Alhambra, Steve, on a penalty. First down, the ball at the 27. Alhambra needs a few more of these, Steve.
They really do, Dan. If they can get a score right here, they're right back in it.
Hall from the shotgun on first down. Throws a slant pattern over the middle. It's intended for head and nearly intercepted on a deflection by number 20, Noah Kornblith.
Here's a replay right here. He's in the shotgun. Dan and Hall just lets it go right here. He gets tipped. This is what happens, Dan. At the line, I didn't get the number, but it got tipped, and that's why the ball went astray. There's Coach Severa.
He has a big task in front of him, Steve. This is not a team that he said if they score 30 or 40 points, we're going to lose. Well, they had one touchdown from 32, so.
Dan, I'll tell you what, I mean, you can talk all you want, but to me, this is a drive of the game right here. If they can get something going on this drive and get back into it, we got a game. But this is a big 2 plays right here. It's 2nd and 10 right now, Dan.
Hall to throw. In the flat to Burke. Burke comes up, and he is knocked off his feet by number 8, Andrew Chapman. A great defensive play, a short gain, maybe a gain of 1, Steve. It'll be 3rd and 9.
Really a nice play by Chapman right here. Right here, it's just out in the flat right here to Burke. Burke catches it on the run, full steam ahead right here. And right here, he just gets
clipped. That's not Burke, Steve. I apologize. That's Gliotto, yeah.
That's Gliotto. You're absolutely right. It's 33. But he had a full steam going up, turned upfield. If he doesn't make that tackle, he moves the chains because there was nobody in front of him, Dan.
3rd and 9. Hall to throw. In the flat once again to Burke. And Steve, he has to break too many tackles. He's being worked too hard tonight. There were 2 defenders out there, and then finally Swice and number 31, Hole, came over to make the tackle.
Well, here's Burke out of the backfield right there. You see the pressure on Hall right there. And he slips a couple. Well, he really doesn't slip the second one. The second one caused it, and they just cleaned up there on him. They got to punt the ball over. That was a big stand by the Mats, Dan.
6:56 to go, 3rd quarter, and another punt for Alhambra. Here's Perry. And that, I'll tell you, Steve, what is going on out there? Alhambra, every time they've had an opportunity, they've just had all these situations. That time, they let what looked like the whole Miramonte line through. The punt wasn't blocked. He never had a chance to get it off.
Let's watch the replay, Dan. Look at him coming through right here. They just steamroll, and he gets a kind of high snap, and just chaos right there.
And then a fumble, and the ball's recovered. I think they're going to actually spot it at the original tackle spot, which will be right outside the 20-yard line. So Miramonte in great field position, and they've been in. Steve, have they ever even started hardly on the other end of the field? It's maybe once or twice. Gillen, the quarterback, 2 backs and an eye, and his receivers, as usual, are Wright and Housepian. And here's a handoff to Carey, and Carey, a gain of about 3. Damron makes the tackle, and this is where Miramonte really needs to get the running game going again and go in and knock some time off the clock.
Yeah, they really don't have to put the ball in the air right now. They could just run it with Carey and eat up the clock, and this is their big the clock.
There's a Rocco t-shirt, one of our great friends of high school football here in AT&T Broadband. Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, which is a place I'm sure you've frequented hundreds of times in your life.
Rocco's!
2nd down, handoff, Carey, basically the same play. Damron was that a replay?
That was like, wow, deja vu all over.
It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
Same play, same runner, same tackler. 3rd down.
Same results, gain of 3.
Here's the great friends of high school football on AT&T Broadband, of course. Rocco's, Ristorante, and
Rocco's.
Best pizza by the readers of Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters, of course, in Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. Contra Costa Clean Water Program. It's free, easy, and cool to recycle oil and filters. And Paramount Technology, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Steve, can you say that?
No, you're the play-by-play guy. I can't say none of that.
Inside misdirection handoff, Carey. And Carey's going to be close to a 1st down, but Alhambra's defense has stiffened here.
They have stiffened a little bit. They kind of are playing the run. Watch the replay right here. They run on the right side of Miramonte right there behind Branstad and Hornberger, and they pick up about 3 or 4, but here's the Bulldogs gang tackling.
And he also had Weeks pulling out of his left guard position, coming over and making a block there.
And he's a big man for a junior.
Well, you look at Kevin Weeks, and he's listed on the starting lineup here, Steve. 6'6", 250, a junior. Evans, the center, is 6'3", 275. They go between 240 and 275, and they're going for it on 4th down.
And I talked to his dad before the game. They said he had to take a second out of his house just to feed the kid.
I think that's Lacey, Steve. No, that's Carey.
That's Carey.
It's Carey.
Moving the chains.
And Carey gets a 1st down for Miramonte inside the 10-yard line.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. It's just power football. Left-hand side of Miramonte, Weeks and Smith again, and Bennett just opening it up and moving the chains.
1st down. The ball at just inside the 10-yard line. Miramonte leads 25-7 tonight with 4:30 to go, 3rd quarter. Next week we'll be in Walnut Creek for Los Lomas Acalanes, the 50th anniversary of that high school. And Steve, you were around for the opening of that school, weren't you?
I graduated. That was the first graduation class there.
Guillen, play action, rolling, throwing into the flat. He has not the tight end, but the fullback, Grebe, out of the backfield, and a short gain on 1st down, Steve. A good crowd out here tonight, Steve. The stands are full. There's a lot of people standing around. A very big crowd, a very big game tonight. But so far, Miramonte has been able to neutralize Alhambra.
Vince Parada on the tackle, number 32, Dan. Real good pursuit on that.
Actually looked like a no gain. We're going to call it 2nd and goal right about the 10-yard line, Steve. Clock running here in the 3rd quarter. That's Housepian in motion, and a handoff to Carey. And Carey tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Costanza. So it's going to be 3rd down, Steve, and You know, you got to give Alhambra credit. They're battling.
They're battling. They're not rolling over yet. Costanza, wasn't he on Seinfeld, that guy? No?
I have no answer for some of your questions.
Jeez.
I was never a Seinfeld fan, so I wouldn't know.
Weren't? Oh, okay.
No. Isn't that usually on during when Seinfeld?
You've been a little grumpy tonight, Dan.
You haven't been grumpy at all tonight. Go back last week. That was grumpy.
There's Costanza right there making the tackle on number 2. Used to play at Deer Valley. What's that guy's name? Eric Carey.
I just never watched Seinfeld.
I can't believe you never watched Seinfeld.
I think back in those days there was a good soap opera on Fox at 9 o'clock. Oh, Gillen. Play action. No one knows Gillen has the ball.
He don't even know he has it.
Hey, Mark, you have the ball.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a play action ran that good. He had about 10 seconds to set up, but the Alhambra defense had all the receivers covered.
I think he was meditating back there for a while. Deep meditation.
You need deep medication.
Fourth down, Dan. What do you do, Dan?
I go for it. But you know something this has been an area where they haven't been able to do a lot, Steve. They've scored their touchdowns either from real close or farther back. And there's a collection of very good-looking young ladies.
From Martinez.
Fourth down. Gillen to pass. Deep drop. Throws a screen to Carey.
This is trouble.
Alhambra has good pursuit. He's going to need a block. There's a penalty. This is going to come back, even though Carey makes a great run and gets into the end zone. But I think we're going to get an illegal block. This one's going to come back, Steve.
Yeah, it is, because the guy would have called the touchdown. They're going to get a legal start or a false start in the backfield here. Let's see what he says. Oh, we're going to get a clip.
Number 77, White.
Jeez.
Who made you the color guy? It's a false start, and it's really a clip. Would you get out? Let me take this replay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's the quarterback.
That's Gillen, Dan.
If it was a false start, there wouldn't even have been a play. That's why they let the play go.
I see.
And then over here comes Carey, and the flag doesn't come in until you see the guy diving, and then guys flying, and that guy probably somewhere in here got hit in the back, even though I don't see one Miramonte guy even near an Alhambra guy on that side of the ball. I saw nothing but Alhambra guys diving and missing.
Okay, I'll take the play-by-play. You do the color.
No,
You're better than I am.
We're not even going to let you take the play-by-play.
All right.
We'll let you come back to color now. I just wanted to point that out to you.
Okay. I'm just not doing my job. I'm sorry, Dan. I'll try better.
That was like saying that the ball was popped up to short and it was over the right field fence. That's.
Did I say false start?
I said false start, and it was a clip. Pass interference. No, it was really a legal man on downfield. Here we go, fourth down. They have to go 22 yards for a first down, probably into the end zone. Gillen to throw, and he overthrows the intended receiver right, and Alhambra holds, and they're still in this one, Steve.
They really are, Dan. For somehow, as bad as they've played and as good as Miramonte's played, let's watch a replay right here, Dan. He's got all the time in the world. That massive front line has given him all the time he wants. He looks to the right, turns to the left, and lets it go. Throws a real nice ball, but just gets it out of the reach. Bulldogs ball. Let's see what they do, Dan.
Now, if Terrell Owens was one of his wide receivers, he might have had a chance at that ball, but Brendan Wright is not that big, and he overthrew him, so it's first down. This is actually good field position starting for Alhambra in this game. Hall play action. He's going to throw. He throws out to the right sideline to Giffen, and Giffen is not able to come down with that. Incomplete, Steve. So 2:21 to go, third quarter, 25-7. And the way this is going, Alhambra's really going to need a couple more Miramonte mistakes as you see the quarterback comparison tonight, Steve. 1 for 7 in the second half for only 1 yard for Gillen.
Well, I think
Gillen, I'm sorry.
Gillen. But I think what they've been doing, Dan, basically they've been running with Carey so far in the second half, just eating the clock up. He's thrown a couple possessions down in the red zone to get in the end zone, but mainly they've kind of changed their game plan and just running the clock out right now. But the Bulldogs right here, they need to do something, Dan, to get back into it.
Second down, Hall in the shotgun. 3 wide receivers. Inside handoff, Burke. And Burke breaks the tackle, still on his feet. But Steve, Swice comes from behind to make the tackle. They have just a no, that's not Swice. I take that back. That's
40.
Monroe. They have a very active defense, Miramonte, and they're just making plays all over the field.
You're right, Dan. Let's watch his team speed. Watch Monroe gets blocked at the line of scrimmage and does a U-turn and comes back from the backside and gets Burke. Real nice play by Monroe. That's one thing I've been impressed with so far with Miramonte. Their overall team speed on both sides of the ball is really evident, Dan, in this game.
They really do kind of resemble the Big Green Machine.
They do.
Play action on third down, and Hall. And at that time, Hall made a nice throw. He was looking at Gliato in the flat. He went inside to Yamamoto. First down Alhambra, just the third first down of the game for the Bulldogs.
And they need to go to Yamamoto a little bit more, Dan, to move the chains. That's the first attempt they've even tried to get the ball to him. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. A little play action.
Here's
right here, you got Burke out of the...
That's Gliato.
Gliato right there, and he throws it a little bit low, but he makes a nice adjustment on it, and he moves the chains. Go ahead, Dan.
They're going to have to make adjustments like that to get completed passes. Play action on first down. Hall to throw over the middle. He has Giffen. Giffen is on his feet at the 45. Giffen's still on his feet, breaking tackles, and Giffen is inside Miramonte territory. The ball at the 36-yard line. One of the biggest plays of the night for Alhambra.
It really is, and there's the Alhambra crowd getting a little excited, Dan. Let's watch Hall right here. Throws a real good ball right here, Dan. He gets time to throw the ball now. He throws it right on the money. Watch his pass. Hits him. He's got to turn a little bit for it. Griffin makes a nice adjustment. And right here, he picks about 12, 15 yards of just pure determination on his own, Dan. Real nice play.
First down, 1 minute to go, third quarter. Alhambra driving, trying to get back in this one. They set up the screen pass. It's inside to Yamamoto, but Yamamoto only gains one to the 35-yard line. Giffen has 2 receptions tonight for 36 yards, Steve. And I'll tell you, the Antioch crowd and the Alhambra crowd look a lot alike because they wear the block A's.
That's right. I really like that call right there they did. Yeah, it didn't work, but I like that inside screen. I always have. And when you execute it properly, it always goes for big gains. We always see De La Salle do that play, and they score a touchdown on it every time I see him do it, seems like. But that was a good call. It's just Miramonte's team defense, speed-wise, is just superior.
This should be the last play of the third quarter. 18 seconds to go. Miramonte at the 35 and a false start. It looked like Hall backed out of there.
He pulled out.
Didn't look like they had the snap count together there, Steve.
And there you go again, Dan. You know, right when things are going good, they kind of stub their toe a little bit right there, moves them back a little bit. That's 5 yards you really don't want to have to contend with. You got enough.
Red ball foul. Full start against blue.
Now he looks grumpy.
I was going to say, you call me grumpy.
No, you're not grumpy. He looks grumpy. Let's see what they do here, Dan. This is a big drive. I don't think they're going to get to. Well, they might get this play off.
Yeah, this is going to really mess them up if they don't, Steve. The ball at the 40, 2nd and 15. Hall, a draw play. This is Gliato. Gliato has a blocker downfield. Gliato's still on his feet. Gliato has a first down near the 20-yard line on the last play of the third quarter. We'll step away for 1 minute. Alhambra driving, trying to get back in this one, but they trail Miramonte 25-7. As we'll take a look at this before we step out, Steve. Here's a replay of that last play.
Well, real nice draw, Dan. Gliato up the middle. He cuts to the right there. This is the last play before the fourth quarter, and a good thing they got it off. They got it off in about 2 seconds. Just a real nice run, moves the chains. Alhambra's back in business. They need to score on this drive right here to have a chance.
Miramonte 25, Alhambra 7 at the end of 3. We'll be back in 1 minute on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop that right now!
I've just dumped my oil in the garbage can.
By dumping used oil in the garbage, you might as well be dumping it in the ground. No! Recycle your used oil by curbing the crude. It's so simple. Place your used oil in a sealed jug on the sidewalk along with other recycled items. Call your waste management company for more details or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at the start of the fourth quarter, Steve, we apologize. We missed a play, but it was just a small run there by Burke. I think we might have this one for you to show it to you, though. We'll show it after this play. It was Burke on the run. First down for Alhambra. The ball at the 10-yard line. Bulldogs need to score and probably go for 2 to pull within 10 here against Miramonte. It was all Miramonte in the first half. Alhambra starting to move the ball here in the second. Burke straight ahead for 3. Let's take a look at that last play, Steve, before the half. See what kind of, try to show you everything here on AT&T Broadband.
Well, Dan, what they did, I don't know if we got it on replay or not, but it was a nice run by Burke. He probably picked up about 12 or 13 yards. Here it is right here on the replay, Dan. Let's watch Burke right here. He runs on the left-hand side of Filter and Dameron and Barack, and he gets to the outside. This moves the chains. This is a big run for them. That we're sorry we weren't able to bring it to you, but here it is. And let's go back to live action, Dan.
And that was Kornblith on the tackle. That was the first play. You just saw the second play of this drive. On this possession here in the fourth quarter, and this time they go misdirection to Burke. He's down to the 5-yard line. This is going to bring up a big third down play for Alhambra, Steve. They have yet to punch the ball in on offense. Their only touchdown came on a turnover by their defense.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. It's just a counter play right here. We got a couple big boys pulling, Bulldogs pulling on the left side, and Miramonte's defense stuffed it.
Hole.
He's had a good
game. Filled up the hole.
He filled up the hole, Hole did.
We got a lot of that tonight. We got Hole filling up the hole. We got Carey making a lot of carries, and we got Really, when he's in, doing a really good job. 10:43 to go in the ball game. 25-7 Miramonte, and Alhambra calls their first time out here the second half. Coach Silvera out on the field right now. Hey, Steve, our question of the week: would you like to see AT&T Broadband's game of the week listed in the Contra Costa Times television schedule? If yes, then call the Contra Costa Times at 935-2525. Ask for the guy who makes up the CC Times television schedule.
And if you'd like to come and mow my lawn on Saturday, you can come and mow my lawn while I sit and watch the A's beat the Yankees. Carter's going to like that.
What music is Ron Carter playing in the background?
I think it's the Partridge Family. Partridge Family.
Oh, the Desert Song by MSG? Matt? Wow, see, now me and Matt would be the only guy in this whole crew that would know that. You don't even know who Michael Schenker is, what he was, or where he's at right now.
Well, I think he's on the FBI's most wanted list, ain't he? Number 22?
No. He might have been earlier, but he's fallen off.
Okay.
Some of those guys.
A lot of them guys, thank God for
Charles
them guys,
Manson wouldn't be on the list right now, okay? He'd have fallen off right now. We got bigger problems. Third down. The ball at the 5-yard line. Alhambra desperately needs to score on this drive. Hall, play action. Oh, he had a receiver, couldn't get it to him. And he's going to get tackled for a loss, Steve. And Alhambra just, God, you want him to get in there.
Yeah.
We want him to get in there because we don't want anyone to turn off and go watch John Walsh at 9 o'clock tonight.
Let's watch the replay right here. And he really had right in the flat right there.
Yeah, he did.
And right there he's just in trouble. And right here the guy's going for his wallet and trying to strip him of his dignity.
Well, Steve, they're going to go for a field goal, which isn't a bad move because they're probably going to need a touchdown and an extra point, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion, and a field goal to get back in this one.
And Perry's got a real good leg, Dan. He's a good kicker.
The kick is up. Good foot into that one. And the kick is good.
He can kick, that kid.
A 32-yard field goal for Mickey Perry. And the score with 10:10 to go in the ball game is Miramonte 25 and Alhambra 10. And Steve, while we have an opportunity here, we'd like to tell you about the great friends of AT&T Broadband's Game of the Week. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve, I already told you about Lit and Ozzy Osbourne as you take a look at us up here in the booth up here high above the stadium at Bulldog Stadium. But also, how are the Pantels doing over there? We haven't talked about them a lot this year.
Well, they're branching out, Dan. They got their kids coming down, their grandkids coming down. Aaron's there. Everybody's there. Tyler's there. They're all there.
The Pantels do
Ralph,
great work
Mark,
on
Keith.
Down there, 6th Street. We all went to school with them. And for those of you over here, you're probably wondering just what the heck is a Pantel?
Yeah.
Well, they actually put in car stereos and CD players and stuff like that as Perry gets off a real good kick this time into the end zone. So for the first time, Steve, I'd have to say Miramonte really, their back's up a little bit against the wall. They're going to start at their own 20, and Alhambra needs to force a turnover so they could score and try to get back in this one.
And Gillen's on the sideline going, Coach Bernstein, can I throw the ball a little bit more?
Well, you know, Steve, we had the stats in this ball game, and in the first half, Gillen was 9 of 9 for 100 yards. And in the second half, he's 1 of 8 for -1 yard. So Coach Bernsted's probably saying no. You give the ball to number 2.
Yeah.
Although number 2 is not in the game right now. It's Lacey behind Grieve and a handoff to Lacey up the middle. And Lacey dances for a couple.
I will say this, Dan, you're absolutely right. Alhambra's been playing a little bit better second half of this game. They've outscored them 10-0 in the second half. Their defense has been coming alive a little bit. They've had a couple of opportunities offensively-wise they really haven't capitalized on. They got that one big break with Aldridge. But they're playing a lot tougher than what they did in the first half. So you got to take your helmets off.
Oh, I was going to say, are you going to take your hats off?
I'm going to take your helmets off.
That was the number 4 answer on Family Feud, by the way.
Alhambra, Dan, for not folding tent and coming out and battling.
You take your hats off to them. Was one of your big, your best quotes.
Survey set.
2nd and 9. Gillen hands off. This is Lacey again, trying to turn the corner. He trips and falls. I'll tell you, Steve, Alhambra, the two big questions are, can they come back and do they have enough time if they can?
I think time's going to be the thing. Right here, Dan, Lacey right here is just got a couple pulling guards. Let's watch number 66, what he does. Well, he slipped, but 66 was on Aldridge.
That was Craig Branstad out in front. And, Steve, the tackle on that play was made by Tallgrass.
Yes. And he's all league. Plays everywhere.
He's on every team,
in
every stadium except DVC.
And he's all over the field.
Look at this.
Can I do that?
Oh,
no,
God.
I cannot
Those
do
four
that.
girls would have already collapsed.
Yes.
Steve was in there. 3rd down. Gillen to throw. Gillen has a receiver, but he has coverage. Ooh, that could have been close to an interference call, but a good play by Giffen on right, and Alhambra forces another punt, Steve. And with 8:36 to go, the game plan for Alhambra is score quickly, get the ball back, and score quickly again.
Stephen Ayers was on that coverage too, Dan. He did a pretty good job also. Helped out. Let's watch the replay right here. He's Gillian back. He's standing tall in the pocket. Dan. He throws it on the line. Real good throw right here. And they both kind of get tangled up right there. You're right, Dan. That could have been
Pachoa into punt. Ayers and Aldridge deep. Short kick this time. Bounces at the 50. Bounces off a Miramonte player. No, let it go. First touch will be right at midfield for Alhambra. Don't pick that one up. 8:26 to go. Alhambra with good field position, down by 15. They need a touchdown, a 2-point conversion, a touchdown, and either a 2-point conversion for the win or an extra point for the tie, Steve. And after tonight's game, if you'd move your large cranium out of the way, I could see it tonight following the game. CC Rock, I don't know what this is about. I saw this it was weirder than the Witch Project, the Blue Oyster Cult Witch Project.
That's Hank Norton is who that is.
And there's Ron Carter playing with the music in the background. Here we go. 1st down. Play action. Hall to throw. Has a receiver. It's Giffen. Giffen has a 1st down, and Giffen's inside the 30-yard line. And Alhambra is finally getting their act together on offense here in the second half, Steve.
Dan, let's watch the replay, Dan. The offensive line is finally giving Hall time to throw the ball. He throws it over the middle, puts it right on the line. Griffin makes a great catch.
Giffen.
It is a Giffen. You're right. Dan, that was Giffen. But he does a good job. Alhambra's on the move. Look at Giffen.
He told me to tell you there's no R, Steve Sanchez.
Well, last week we had Dave Silverilaria.
That's true. 1st down, the ball at the 29-yard line. Alhambra driving, trying to pull closer. Hall scrambling. Hall with the ball. We noticed this the first time we did it. I don't think Hall really wants to be like Steve Young.
No.
But on that play, he gains a couple, Steve.
Ben Robinson, we haven't called his name out. Real good play by him, number 51. I think Hall got his finger kind of messed up there a little bit. Shaking his hand a little bit. This is a big possession, Dan, obviously, with 7:24 to go. They need pay dirt here, buddy. 7:28 to go. 27, 26. I kill you sometimes.
I don't know what you're on sometimes, I swear. 2nd down.
I'm on life, brother.
Oh, nice. Inside, fake the pitch, go back misdirection to the middle. A 1st down, that's the first carry tonight for Narrabon. And Alhambra moving closer inside the 20 to the 15-yard line, Steve. They need to score, though, quickly here. They can't waste another 3 or 4 minutes. They need to punch this in the next 30 seconds.
They need to really get it in. Narrabon did a real good job right here. Let's see where he runs behind, Dan. A little fake number, Alhambra number 42, Filder, and Ryan Dameron opened up a big hole, and boom, moves the chains.
51 Robinson made the tackle. 1st down. Alhambra trying to pull within a touchdown. Hall to throw. He had Fielder, and Fielder was going to get inside the 10-yard line, Steve, and he dropped the ball.
I think he kind of turned his head a little bit down before he had it in his palm of his hands.
And we got to tell Coach Burnstead, it might sound like we're rooting for Alhambra right now. We're really not rooting for Alhambra. We're rooting for them to tie the game, go to overtime,
right.
and then we'll just take it from there, and whoever wins, it'll be a great game.
That's right. That's the way we look at it.
We just want we root for overtime.
That's right. Who's your favorite team? Overtime's our favorite team.
That's right. Second down. They actually have this spotted at the 17-yard line, Steve. Hall with one back, a play action, rolling, looking for Yamamoto, throws for Yamamoto, off the fingertips of Yamamoto. I think the problem with that play, Steve, is that they looked to Yamamoto almost from the start, and I think everyone in the stadium knew it.
Yeah, right here he rolls out, and he keeps looking to the right, looking to the right. There's Yamamoto making the move. He kind of throws it up a little bit high.
Oh, and he almost got the deflection
here. He almost got it.
He almost caught it at the 7-yard line. But Steve,
yeah,
there's a penalty.
We had a penalty.
We did. Let's hear the call.
We're not going to have no call.
There must have been an interference or holding call there, Steve. First down, the ball at the 7-yard line. Actually, they're calling this third down. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong letter up there. It's third down, but they can get a first down. Here's Burke, and Burke on his feet. This is going to be close, Steve. I think, Burke just has not been able to turn that corner all night long.
He really hasn't, Dan. The speed of Miramonte's defense has really taken that element of their offense away, turning the corner. Let's watch the replay right here. I think
they got a first down.
They got a first. But here's Burke. Really good shot of him coming to the outside and turning it up. And there's Carey playing defense, kind of pursuing him and throws him out of bounds, but he's going to move the chains.
He's out of bounds at the 5-yard line. 6:23 to go. Alhambra looking for their 16th point of the second half. Hall, the quarterback, rolling, play action, and he's going to be tackled on a fumble. Who got the ball? I think Alhambra got it back, Steve, but you know what? They just cannot give him enough protection. He's only had maybe 4 or 5 plays tonight where he's really had good protection.
And Jacob Marlar, he came up with it 64, Dan, and you're absolutely right. Just nothing there, and just the whole pocket collapses.
You saw they played off the block of Webb right there, Steve. The ball now is at the 11-yard line. They basically need to score a touchdown because it was first and goal. I don't think another field goal is going to do it here. They need to get into the
7 right here.
They're going to have to pull a rabbit out of their hat. They've ran some really nice trick-type plays here in the second half. They're going to have to run another one here. Here's Hall. They pick up the blitz. There's a penalty, though. This is going to be holding, so I doubt if this is going to count. Hall still on his feet. And hauled back down inside the 5-yard line. I'll guarantee you this is holding, Steve.
Yeah, you're going to get holding.
The only good thing about that is it might open up the field just a little bit more so he can make the pass. Let's wait for the call from the ref.
Got a hold, number 62, blue.
Steve, tell us what you think of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. Give us a call at 933-6264. And you can also call Metal Matt over there and tell him who you'd like to see on CC Rock. And there's a little flag over there.
I like that little American
flag
right
over there. That's very nice.
Seen a couple of them lately.
Yeah, just a couple. And you know who's probably the least popular hard rock band in the whole world right now, even though one of my good friends is the lead singer and they're a great band?
Who?
Anthrax. There's actually something online about that the other day, how they don't want to change their name, but they might be forced to. Here's Hall to throw. Second down, over the middle, and it's intercepted by Carey. Carey on his feet, and Carey finally knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line, Steve. But that time, they went into almost like a deep zone coverage, and he threw it right into the teeth of the zone into Carey.
Well, what's the pressure he gets, though, Dan? He's in the pocket right here. The line just right here just gives up on him. I think that was 55, if that ain't the proper. I think that was the right read I got on it, Dan. And it was Mark Johnston. And he put the pressure on him and caused the interception. Big play for Miramonte.
Here, we got a sportsmanlike against White, number 2.
Then Carey gets a 15-yard on sportsmanlike. This is going to push him back. What Alhambra really needs to pray for here is some kind of turnover, Steve. Yeah, Coach Burnstead is not real happy right
he's
now.
over on the sidelines. There's Coach Burnstead, and he used to be at Antioch in 1982 with Coach Galley.
And Dave Jackson told me that Coach Galley said, we're going to run, and Coach Burnstead said, I'm going to pass, so I'm going to leave. And so he left. And he's been here for 20 years, and it turned out to be a pretty darn good decision.
And Coach Galley's now at Buzzard Breath, Montana, coaching the high school team.
And you'd know because you've been to Buzzard Breath, Montana. Here's a handoff to Carey. Carey cuts back against the grain.
Oh, fumble!
Fumble! Ball's on the ground. As I just said, they need a prayer. Let's see what happens.
I think Miramonte came up with it.
Yeah, because Alhambra's not exactly dancing over there.
Nice hit, though.
That was a good hit. I would like to see this one again.
See if we got it on replay.
Carey getting up slowly here.
We got the replay. This is going to go on the highlight reel, Dan. Right here. Here's Carey going to the outside, picking up his speed. Let's see who hits him. What number goes down low right there? See if we can't come up with a number.
I'm going to predict it was Aldridge.
It was Aldridge. Very good call, Dan. And number 70,
I like Aldridge.
Number 74 from Miramonte.
Well, you'd have to be
Nick
looking
Smith.
I was going to say, you need to be looking at the Miramonte roster to be identifying
Nick Smith,
who it is.
74.
Okay. Oh, I did give the line.
You gave me my line.
Yeah, I
you
have
know how
to.
I like linemen? Because I've had lunch with them before. They eat a lot.
2nd and 3. Quick handoff inside. That's the fullback Grebe, and Grebe has a first down. 4:18 to go, Steve, and at time it looks like it's running out on Alhambra. The clock is stopping. Steve, let's look at our schedule for the rest of the year. We're about halfway through the season right now.
We got a player down.
We have an injured Alhambra Bulldog, and we'll have to chat Gliato, who was injured coming into this game.
Yeah, let's just hope he doesn't read. We got 2 down.
Oh, we have 2 injured. Let's just take a look at this, and then we'll take a look at our schedule. I don't think either of them are seriously injured.
Gliato's going to get up.
I think Gliato might have got like a stinger or something.
It's his knee again, as he's been favored it. That's what's been keeping him out.
We'll check on the other Bulldog. Here's our schedule, Steve. Next week, Acalanes at Las Lomas, then Antioch at Ignacio from Diablo Valley College, Clayton at Antioch, Miramonte at Las Lomas the last week, and then Antioch at Pittsburgh. And you know what, Steve? I think we're going to see a lot of Miramontes and Las Lomases and maybe Antiochs and maybe Pittsburghs in the playoffs. Oh, Los Lomas. I think they meant Los Modanas or Los Lobos, the great Tejano rock band.
I'm not going to stop you. Just roll with it, Dad. You're on a roll right. Just go with that Los Lobos thing.
Steve, I put on one of my best dress shirts tonight for this game.
And I put on the one to where if you eat and drop stuff on it, you can't tell.
There's our good friend Carlin down there shooting us. Actually, there's probably been some times Carlin would like to shoot us.
Yeah. Well, it's better than shooting his kid with the orange hair.
Oh, what was that all about? The injured Bulldog is Adam Burleson, and he comes off. I think he might have hurt his wrist, Steve, on that play. And Steve, you know, there is this one movement in high school football. There's Carlin. Is that like there's like 70 trainers on the there's more trainers than there are coaches.
There really is.
Yeah. Kevin went to he plays water polo at Northgate High School. Yeah. You can't play water polo at Antioch anymore, Steve. Did you hear they condemned the pool at Antioch?
Is that right?
Yeah. Well, you swam in it not too long ago, didn't you?
That's why they condemned it.
The pool. Yeah, they're going to play at Contra Loma, Matt says. Here's a handoff to Carey. And Carey gets about 5 as the clock is going to move with 3:45 to go. And Alhambra needs a prayer. Although I think Alhambra can take some positives out of this second half, Steve. They were thoroughly outplayed in the first half, embarrassed really by Miramonte. And here in the second half, they've held Gillen down. Carey hasn't really gained the yardage he did in the first half. They've put 10 points on the scoreboard. And if it hadn't been for that turnover and some big mistakes, they would have been in the game here a couple of minutes ago.
Dan, you're absolutely right, and they had the opportunity really offensively to put some pressure on Miramonte. They just didn't capitalize when they were in the red zone. They had 2 times in the red zone. They came up empty. Let me let you take this play, Dan, first.
Thank you. Gillen, 2nd and 5, handoff Carey. You know, Carey is good for about 5 or 6 yards every single time he runs the ball, Steve. You can see number 15, Faulkner, was over there with the rest of the Alhambra defense. Ayers was over there as well. Clock stopped with 3:01 to go, Steve, and it looks like Miramonte is going to win their 17th consecutive league game. 23 carries, 135 yards, and a touchdown for Eric Carey tonight, Steve. As Miramonte is ahead 25-10 here. But you know, Steve, we could see this matchup come up about the second week of the playoffs.
Yes.
Alhambra, a good enough team to get into those playoffs. Alhambra may be a 7-3 team, 8-2 team at the end of this league season, and Miramonte on their way to another possible unbeaten season. Draw play. This is Carey, and Carey kind of picks his way through, gets 3 yards. Let's say hello to the great friends of AT&T Broadband High School Game of the Week, Steve. And as always, your favorite place, Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Voted the best pizza by the readers of the Contra Costa.
Killer pizza, baby.
Brendan Theaters at Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. Next week, the new Drew Barrymore picture, Riding in Cars with Boys, which is something that, I used to ride in cars with girls. Contra Costa Clean Water Program, and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters, and Dave Jackson is Mr. Funnelhead. And Paramount Technology of Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Second down handoff, Carey, and Carey gets another gain of about 4. It's going to be 3rd and 3, but the clock is running inside of 2 minutes, Steve, and I think we can safely say that Miramonte has won this one, and they're starting to win the battle on the field as well. Another injured Alhambra player, Steve.
And you know, Dan, going into this game, Alhambra was a little banged up even going into this game. Here's another injury on the sideline. I think that's
Burleson.
Burleson he hurt his shoulder. We got a player down right here, and immediately another player started waving for him to come over. So let's just hope. Yeah, we want to see him moving, and he's moving. That's a good sign. That's the first thing you want to see a kid do is move. And we got some movement from him. So he's just got his bell rung.
So, Steve, next week we'll be at Las Lomas for Acalanes, Las Lomas. Let's tell you where Alhambra will be. They're playing Northgate, and there's a graphic of next week's game, Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. And Miramonte next week, Steve, as we take a look at this wonderful paper that's getting used and worn over the years here, as we have all these. You gave us all this wonderful stuff, and someone's playing disc jockey behind us. Now, this injury might be a little bit more serious, Steve.
Yeah.
They're taking some time to get him up on the field. Not making light of it by any means, but we're just trying to get the schedule to you. Miramonte next week plays Mount Diablo. So neither of these teams should have a huge challenge. You take a look at the sideline of the Bulldogs.
Yeah, whenever there's a player down, everybody goes down to one knee, and they want to make sure he's okay.
Steve,
I think that may be Costanza down, Dan.
You can see Zach Hall's caught up in the second half.
Yeah, he really has. He's played a good second half, considering what he went through in the first half. And Alhambra played a good second half. They got back into it, had chances. And, you got to admire them for their, hanging in there and playing tough in the second half. They could have rolled over. But, you got to train dogs to roll over.
And you're good at it. You have...
you got to do the jabs on me, don't you? 3-0 pitch out of the park. Goodbye. I can't even throw a 3-0 changeup on him.
Miramonte in a couple of weeks will play... Alhambra will play Las Lomas. That game will probably, if Las Lomas wins that game, they'll probably be unbeaten coming into the Miramonte game on November 9th that we're going to bring you, Steve.
Well, Dan,
there's Carlin's kid with the red hair.
Every week we show this kid, and every week we have people call up and say, what is with that?
Who is that? Did he get the Aladdin Sane Bowie album or something? There's another hairdo.
Yeah. There's another camera.
Carlin's taking a shot of this guy. He doesn't want to be in the picture. He's saying, no, get me off the no.
But, Dan, you're absolutely right. It all points down to November 9th with Miramonte and Las Lomas. That could be for the whole enchilada. Our burrito, either one.
As long as all you care about is food. You don't know. Here he is. I don't know who that was, but another hairdo.
That's his other son. I thought they looked alike.
He has 2 kids down there.
He has 2 kids. They're both boys.
Steve, but just for a quick moment, let's go back to the field where this Alhambra player is still down. I can't identify him from here, but I hope that he's okay. That's O'Shawn Head, wide receiver for the Bulldogs. And I think so, yes. I'm just curious. It almost looks like he's laying on his stomach on the sideline, Steve, which I don't know what was going on. But anyway, see, this is the shot, and I'm not making light of the situation, Steve, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Dave Silvera to the right. And I think what they might do, though, Steve, and I'm not familiar with this because I am not a high school administrator or a teacher or anything, but I think some of these people actually are taking like a class.
Right. Oh, they are, Dan.
And that's their class is like an athletic trainer. But, I mean, it's just kind of, when you watch a high school game now, that a lot of times when someone gets hurt, there are 7 or 8 people that go out onto the field to attend to that player. Now, in some instances, Steve, there's a doctor, and that might be the gentleman standing there in the middle. We would know more about the doctor.
No, he's actually with the school.
Oh, okay. All right, we're going to take a 1-minute break here. We'll be back for the conclusion of tonight's game after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
Hey, what are you you doing? Stop that right now!
I just dumped my oil in the garbage can.
By dumping used oil in the garbage, you might as well be dumping it in the ground. No! Recycle your used oil by curbing the crude. It's so simple. Place your used oil in a sealed jug on the sidewalk along with other recycled items. Call your waste management company for more details or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at Martinez and still attending to the injured Alhambra Bulldog. We have yet to be able to identify him, but Steve, it's kind of strange. He's actually on his stomach, it looks like, on the field. Maybe something with a leg, or I don't know. I'm not exactly schooled in the medical vernacular, but you know, we don't want to make light of the situation, definitely. But we have to fill some airspace here while we're waiting. We do not have a tremendous. I don't know, Matt. You want to maybe run some of the highlights of tonight's game at this point, and that might save us some post-game time. What do you think about that? If we have time, Steve, we're going to actually go through the touchdowns in tonight's game. That might save us a little post-game activity. That way we can try to fit this one in before CC Rock comes your way at right after this game. And there's Matt. You know, Matt must have like a trigger whenever he hears CC Rock.
He hears that CC Rock.
Bloister Colt. And there's Motley Crue in the background singing a classic, Steve. And I know that you were in Motley Crue once with Greg Spahn. And, oh, really? Someone was saying he might have broken his back. Wow, that's not good. That's not good at all. But after tonight's game, the Blue Oyster Cult Witch Project, and then Matt always shows like one of his greatest hits in the second half of that as we look out over there.
You know, Dan, I think that's Costanza, because I've been looking for 55 on the sidelines, and I got a glimpse of it to begin with, and I think it was 55, and I haven't been able to see 55. I've been looking for him, so I think that's Costanza.
I don't know who it is, Steve, but we'll have to. Steve, Matt, I don't know if we can get a shot. Wait, now the police are coming out on the. Yeah, this is a serious. Oh, it is Jared Costanza. It is. We got Mickey Lane over here in a sling. I don't know if Carlin's down there on the sideline or if he's went out on the field. Let's take a look at the highlights, and we'll be back, Steve.
There's a highlight.
Oh, that's the highlight earlier.
That was the first game.
Yeah, that was
the first play of the game. Flag to the face.
And here is Gillen on the quarterback sneak, the first touchdown of the game, and they led 6-0. Here's the play action, and he's going to throw for the tight end, number 44 on this play, Mark Bennett. And Bennett's going to put Miramonte ahead. I believe at that time it was 12-0, and then
they're calling the game, Dan.
Oh, wow. Oh, this is a serious situation, folks. We had no idea it was this serious.
No.
As you see the touchdown there. We'll get back to the highlights, Steve. We'll try to recap. Let's just say quickly, though, we'll send all of our thoughts and prayers out to Jared Costanza.
And his family.
We had no idea that it was that serious, because usually when you're doing a football game like we have, and we've done a lot of them, we've never had a kid actually stay down that long and be that injured. Usually you can talk over it, and usually they get up. I guess once in a while, Steve, things like this happen, and a serious injury comes from playing a very physical game. And this game is being called with 1:11 to go in the fourth quarter. The final score will be Miramonte 25, Alhambra 10. We'll be back to wrap everything up in 2 minutes on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it'll end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Let's toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay, and most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back at Alhambra High School in Knowles Field, the final score tonight with the game called with a minute to go, Miramonte 25 and Alhambra 10. And Steve, a very serious situation down on the field is playing itself out where Jared Costanza, one of the defensive players for Alhambra, was injured on the final play of the game. And what they're saying to us in the truck is that he broke his back, and it's the second time he's done it. He did it in his freshman year, and of course Jared is a senior, and that might have been the last play of his high school career. Let's hope that everything turns out well for Jared. Our thoughts and prayers are with him, I know, and just a situation you hope you never see in a high school football game.
You know, Dan, we come and do these games, and there's so much excitement with high school kids playing, and something like this happens. It just, it sends you back to reality, and it makes you really think that, this is a very violent sport, and contact happens, and every once in a while things like this happen, and it just really puts a damper on everything. And you just, like I said, Dan, the only thing you can do is just like your thoughts and your prayers go out to him and his family, and you hope that everything's okay and that he's you don't even worry about playing again, that he's able to get around and be able to go through life like he should. Here comes the ambulance now, down in the background, and we can see them. They're coming up here, and
well, Steve, one thing we don't have the luxury of is a real close-up as you see the fire truck coming in with the flag. We don't have a close-up. Sometimes we can't see the pain on those kids' faces, and we're so used to them getting up because they're kids, and kids usually bounce right back up as you see some of the Alhambra cheerleaders and some of the players out there on the field. So we hope that Jared's okay. And even if he doesn't play ever again, he did a good job tonight, and he had a good career here at Alhambra High School. And we hope that he's able to move on and have a good, productive, life. I mean, a back injury like that, Steve, that could be trouble down the road for a kid. Might not be able to play football ever again, and we hope that that's not the case for Jared Costanza. Let's take a look at the scoring in tonight's game, Steve. We tried to run it early, but we kind of got stopped. But that's Gillen, the first touchdown on a 1-yard sneak, and then he throws play action to the tight end Bennett here for the second touchdown.
A real nice throw, Dan, and that got him going right there. That got Gillen and his confidence going, and the floodgates kind of opened up after that. He got his feet underneath him and got his confidence, and he just led Miramonte tonight as all good quarterbacks should lead their team.
That was a 9-yard pass. It was 12-0. Let's see if we can get the long pass to Wright. This was the touchdown that really broke things open, Steve. It was a 33-yard pass from Gillen to Wright, and here it is, and this really showed off Gillen's arm.
It really did. I don't think we get the whole play here and on, but he really threw it right on the numbers, and Wright made a great catch and took it into the end zone, and that kind of like broke the backs of Alhambra.
Well, the play that really broke their back was just shortly after that when Carey went 45 yards on a draw play, and here it is. Look at the hole open up here.
Oh, really a nice hole, and Miramonte dominated most of the first half on the offensive line, and here's Carey at his speed right here, and he's really got a lot of it. He used it to his benefit right here. Runs to the corner of the pylon right there and gets on in.
It was 25-0 Miramonte at halftime. They had outgained Alhambra by almost 200 yards in the first half, but Alhambra made some strides in the second half, Steve, before this tragic injury. As you see, Aldridge picked up a lateral and ran it in 68 yards for the touchdown that made it 25-7.
And that was that gave Alhambra hope, and it got him back into the ball game. It was a real heads-up play by Aldridge, and there you see the fireman right down there, Dan, with Costanza right there.
Well, that's why I think I mentioned, Steve, I thought he was on his back. He is laying on his back, and he must, he's done it before. Maybe he knew. Maybe he just said, you know what, it's the same injury. I can feel it.
Right.
And let's hope that he recovers. Also, a 32-yard field goal, although it was listed here as a 42. Maybe it was a 42-yard field goal, but anyway, a 40, somewhere in the neighborhood of 32 to 42 yards from Perry. Closed out the scoring, 25-10. Miramonte wins tonight, and they go to 5-0 in the league play. Let's take a look at some of the stats from tonight's game. The final stats: Miramonte 307 yards of total offense to 115. They ran for 208 yards behind carries, 147. They passed for 99. Gillen had a great first half, nearly invisible in the second half, Steve.
Yeah, well, they kind of got away from their game plan, and they had that big lead, and they started running the ball with Carey a lot, and he didn't throw as many times in the second half as he had to. They just ran the ball and kind of ate the clock up and knew they had Alhambra in a hole, and just kind of got a little conservative in the second half. But they had all the points they really needed, Dan.
Alhambra gained 115 yards tonight. They only ran for 12. Burke just 28 yards. Hall came alive in the second half. He threw for 103 yards in the game, and Giffen had 54 yards receiving, and Wright also had 4 receptions for a touchdown and 60 yards for Miramonte. As we start to wrap up another one here, and we tell you that next week will be at Walnut Creek for Acalanes. Las Lomas should be a good one. Let's tell you who helped us out here tonight. Matt Bolender is our director. Ron Carter helped out tonight on graphics. Fletcher Tyler on one of the cameras tonight, as well as Scott Valor, Kevin Campbell, and of course Carlin with all of his kids down there on the sidelines, Steve. Replay tonight was Joel Madsen. Dave Jackson on stats as always with his grandson Robert Rice, and always Brent Elwich helping inputting the data of the stats here tonight at the big game between Miramonte and Alhambra. Let's take, we have Mike and Travis Larson also. Those are the guys we see down there on the sidelines all the time, Steve. Good shot of some of the fans here tonight. Special thanks tonight to Dave Silvera of the Bulldogs and head coach Floyd Burnstead of the Miramonte Matadors for helping us prepare. We'll see Coach Burnstead once again on November 9th. Special thanks also to Alhambra High School for getting this thing together for us. Some of the great friends here on AT&T Broadband's Game of the Week. Ristorante and Pizzeria. That's Rocco's, the best pizza in Contra Costa County, according to Contra Costa Times readers. Brendan Theaters, where there's 14 screens of movie magic. Contra Costa Clean Water Program, and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. And Paramount Technology at Concord, your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. We'd also like to say hello to our rest of our great friends, Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe in Pittsburgh, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. Reminding you once again, Steve, that next week it's Acalanes against Las Lomas, who should be undefeated going into that game. Should be a good one, the 50th anniversary of the high school. Want to remind you once again, this is Dan Wall for Steve Sanchez, and reminding you once again of the final score. Miramonte 25, Alhambra 10. This has been a high school sports production brought to you by AT&T Broadband in Walnut Creek and Pittsburgh.
Good night, everybody.
And get well, Jared.